Chapter 479. Xiangyi was always much more tolerant of good-looking children. Besides, they were so polite too. Xiangyi said, "I won't stand on ceremony then. Thank you for the flute, it's very beautiful." Seeing that she accepted it, the corners of Ling Ye's mouth curled up slightly, making his pale face look livelier. Su Tumi's nanny van drove away and everyone walked towards the living room. Halfway there, Shi Sui raised her eyebrows and asked ambiguously, "You don't know him?" Xiangyi said innocently, "I really don't know him." Their conversation reached the ears of the netizens in the live stream. Tisk, he say a certain best actor is jealous. Shi Sui, look at my hair color, does it have a tinge of green? Haha, as long as I have enough CPs I can have twice the sugar and twice the happiness. In the gazebo in the courtyard. Although Xiangyi's hands were inconvenient, she had no problem adding some seasoning. She asked in a warm voice, "Senior Tian Lingyi, do you have anything you want to eat for lunch?" Tianji said, I've been on a diet recently. I'll just eat some steamed coarse grains. Otherwise, I'll get scolded again when I get home." Tianji was known for being a henpecked husband in the industry. As soon as he spoke, the netizens in front of the screen couldn't help but laugh. Ling Ye's eyes lit up. "I'm not picky about food. I like to eat whatever sister makes." Xiangyi nodded slightly. "He's not picky about food. Seems like he's an easy kid to take care of." "What about you?" The young girl looked at Shi Sui. Shi Sui said with a straight face, "Pickled fish with pickled cabbage." Xiangyi muttered softly, "Don't you dislike sour food?" Shi Sui glanced at her. Xiangyi was speechless. In the live stream, Shi Sui's gaze is amazing. Why do I feel that the aura between the two of them is very subtle? Shi Sui, I'm a pickled cabbage fish. It's too much and too much. Tianji and Shi Sui went fishing together. Xiangyi sat by the floor-to-ceiling window and casually flipped through a medical book on food therapy. After acupuncture, her second brother's hand had recovered by more than half. She wanted to nourish him through food therapy. After obtaining Xiangyi's permission, Ling Yi obediently helped tidy up the bookshelves. A gentle breeze blew through the milky yellow curtains. The scene was warm and tranquil. Yes. Ling Yi suddenly sucked in a breath of cold air in the quiet living room. Xiangyi looked up and found that he had been hit on the head by a book that had slipped from the bookshelf. She frowned and got up to walk toward Ling Yi. Ling Yi hurriedly apologized, "Sister, I didn't mean to dirty your book," but he heard the girl ask, "Does it hurt?" Ling Yi stared blankly for a moment as a strange look flashed across his amber eyes. However, he quickly concealed it and said, "It won't hurt. Go and rest." Xiangyi picked up the book and inserted it into the bookshelf. "It's just a book. It's okay. You don't have to take it to heart." Shua, Ling Yi placed his hand on the bookshelf and from afar, it looked like he was holding Xiangyi in his arms. The red string around his wrist was old but coquettish. "Sister," he said in an obedient tone. "Huh." Xiangyi turned her face to the side and only then did she realize that the two of them were a little too close to each other. She frowned in displeasure and wanted to retreat, but Ling Yi blocked her way with his other hand. It was a standard Cabotin posture. "Actually, I didn't recognize you at first either. It was when you were playing with Jiang Jojo." Ling Ye's hair was naturally curly and he looked soft and soft. However, there was a strong sense of paranoia in the depths of his eyes. "But I've traveled with you so many times. If you forget me, I'll be very upset." Chapter 480. At the same time, Xiao Naofu was tired of chasing butterflies in the garden, so it scurried towards the living room with its short legs, ready to ask Xiangyi for some dried fish. Little Shiji followed closely behind it. As soon as it stepped into the living room, Xiao Naofu's eyes widened and its fur stood on end. It glared at Ling Yi in shock. "It's a fast transmigrator. What's going on? This stupid woman has already completed all her missions. Why is she still interacting with a fast transmigrator?" Bang! A loud noise came from the bookshelf. Ling Ye's Cabotin lasted for only a few seconds before Xiangyi pressed him against the bookshelf. The young man's handsome face was pressed against the cold oak bookshelf, causing it to deform slightly. He smirked and said, "Sister, don't be so fierce." Xiangyi had already deduced his identity from his few words. Her gaze was calm and she didn't get emotional because of Ling Ye's words. "Kid, don't blame me for being rude if you get touchy again." There was a hidden threat in her tone. There was a huge uproar in the live stream. What the hell? Xiangyi and Ling Yi are having an affair? They've already traveled. How can they not know each other? The vase fairy is really disgusting. I suddenly feel sorry for Shi Sui. He's so chaste and has never been involved in any scandals with other female celebrities. What about Xiang? There are so many women around him, but all she does is flirt with little wolves and puppies. She's so fickle. Something like transmigration was simply too unimaginable for ordinary people. The netizens naturally interpreted traveling as a single man and woman going on a vacation together. Ling Ye's wrists were thin and his fingers were long and slender. Xiangyi was restraining his beautiful hands. Ling Ye's fingertips touched the red string. Seemingly unintentionally, yet also seemingly on purpose, he said, "This is a gift from my sister. I've always kept it well." Xiangyi's expression changed slightly. In several S-grade planes there was often more than one auxiliary role. She had indeed teamed up with the same person in several difficult worlds and even gave him a red blessing string that she had gotten from a certain world. However, in those planes her teammates were all girls. Wait, that's not right. You. Xiangyi was shocked. You're a cross-dresser? Ling Yi blinked his eyes. Did Big Sister just find out? I thought Big Sister knew all along. The conversation between the two made the netizens very excited. F***ck, this is too much information. It can't be what I'm thinking, right? Sister E mistook Ling Yi for a girl and went on a trip with him? The case has been solved. No wonder Sister E didn't recognize Ling Yi. To be more precise, she probably didn't recognize Ling Yi in men's clothing. So what if he's a cross-dresser? Don't forget that our Shuringdi also wore Sister Yi's jacket. When it comes to cross-dressing, our Shuringdi won't lose, humph. Some Shursui sisters' competitive spirit is a bit too strange. Perhaps because he had been pressed down for too long, Ling Yi began to show signs of weakness. Big sister, it hurts. Xiangyi hadn't recovered yet and her reaction was inevitably a little slow. Just as she was about to let go, she suddenly heard Ling Ye's coquettish tone. Big sister, I'll be good from now on. Can you not be so rough with me next time? Xiangyi was confused. A cold and languid voice suddenly sounded in her ears. Sister E. Xiangyi was speechless. She turned her head abruptly, only to discover that Shursui was standing at the door with his back straight and handsome. Special note, not updated on 9/19 but updated on 9/20, good night. Chapter 481. When the camera panned to Shursui, the netizens watching the live stream got excited. Oh, what a scene. Let's fight. Shursui is going to pull Ling Ye's hair. Sister E is so adorable when she's confused. Shursui, what are you waiting for? Go and kiss him. Let your younger brother see what it means to be evil in society. Xiangyi snapped out of her daze and immediately let go of Ling Yi. She jogged towards Shursui and stopped a few steps away from him. Why are you back? Did you catch any fish? I'm here to get some water for Senior Tian, Shursui said in a natural tone without even looking at Ling Yi. How's your hand? The pain of a broken bone was nothing to Xiangyi. Besides, she had been resting for a few days and was feeling much better. However, in front of Shursui, she couldn't help but behave coquettishly. It hurts a little. Seeing Shursui frown, Xiangyi regretted her words and corrected herself. Just a little. Not far away, Ling Yi was leaning against a bookshelf. His body was very sensitive to pain, and even though Xiangyi hadn't used much strength just now, he could still feel a sharp pain in his wrist. His face was pale and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. As he watched the interaction between Xiangyi and Shursui, there was a hint of envy in the depths of his eyes. Shursui coaxed her to sit down on the couch by the floor-to-ceiling window, not forgetting to put a cushion around her waist. He placed a small blanket on her lap and pulled the charging cable to her hand. On the table in front of her, there were medical books, a magazine, fruits, snacks and flower tea. Have a good rest, Shursui said gently. Xiangyi nodded and sat down obediently. Ling Yi was speechless. She was so cold in front of him just now. Why did she become so soft in front of this man? Seeing Shursui take out a pot of cold tea from the fridge, Ling Yi stepped forward and said, Mr. Shur, let me accompany you. Shursui nodded slightly. The two of them walked side by side to the pond. After walking for a long distance, the two of them were still safe and sound. The netizens were a little disappointed, but they heard Ling Yi slowly ask, Does Mr. Shur like Sister Xiangyi? The netizens. F***ck little brother, you're a little bold. Oh hey, she's hitting a straight shot. Love. Good question. I've always wanted to know how Shuringdi feels about Sister E. The cameraman switched the camera to Shursui's face. The man's face was chiseled and his jawline was smooth. No matter how bad the angle was, there was no fault to be found. In front of the screen, many of the Shursui sisters thought that Shursui would be able to solve this problem easily with his EQ. For example, Sister E is so outstanding, who would hate her? Another example was, children asking such questions, are they looking for puppy love? Aren't you afraid that I'll inform your parents? However, to their surprise, Shui said calmly, yeah, I like her. In an instant, the cameraman's hands trembled and he almost dropped the expensive equipment. The comments in the live stream seemed to have been cleared. 1 second, 2 seconds, whoosh. Overwhelming comments filled the entire screen. Like? Shurindi said he likes her, right? He admitted it. This D*MN man finally admitted it. Ah, the whole building is filled with my rooster cries. Come and tell me loudly it's inappropriate. Yes. Really? Yes. Chapter 482. To everyone's surprise, Shui didn't beat around the bush or throw the question back at them. Instead, he openly admitted to his feelings for her. Not only did the live stream cause a sensation, but the hashtag Shui's confession hashtag also quickly became a trending topic on Weibo. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that it was the hottest topic on the internet. Ling Yi was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Shui to give such an answer. He adjusted his mood and said with a smile, after all, who wouldn't want to get close to such a warm person like Big Sister? Shui glanced at him indifferently. For some reason, Ling Yi felt a dangerous aura from him. He had traveled through many worlds, and even if he had met people of high status or extremely powerful martial arts, none of them had made him as wary as the man in front of him. This guy, what kind of existence is he? Ling Yi suddenly felt uncertain. Mr. Shui, are you afraid that I'll snatch Big Sister away? He tilted his head and revealed a harmless smile. His facial features were exquisite, and his hair was slightly curly. He's really an angelic young man. As for whether or not he had Satan in his heart, that was still up for debate. Shui, you won't be able to snatch her away. Ling Yi was curious. Are you that confident? The mature and noble man lowered his eyes and chuckled. Because I believe in her taste. She'll definitely choose the best one. Xiao Naofu, who was secretly following behind the two of them, frowned when it heard this. It had the urge to spit out its furball. It had never seen such a shameless person. Ling Yi originally thought that Shui was a gentleman, modest, and polite person. However, the system's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. According to my speculation, there's a 90% chance that he and Miss Xiangyi are together. *CK. Ling Yi's feelings were very complicated. Soon they walked to the side of the pond. Ling Yi obediently poured a glass of water for his master and then accompanied him to fish. Tianji took a sip and praised, Osmanthus oolong? Diske, it turns out that cold brewed tea has a different flavor too. Shui said, Sister E has made a lot of tea bags recently. If Senior likes them, you can bring a few more flavors to try when you leave. Ling Yi heard the system say, look, he's already acting like the male host. Why don't we just forget about it? Miss Xiangyi is so beautiful, she's destined to be someone you can't get. Ling Yi fell silent for a moment as he recalled how popular Xiangyi was in other transmigration worlds. Fast transmigrators often experienced life and death, betrayal, separation, deception. Some people might have completed their mission, but they had lost their humanity. However, Xiangyi was still able to treat people with gentleness, which made her seem even more precious. He was so impatient that he didn't catch a single fish for a long time. On Shui's side, fish were lining up to take the bait. Tianji also caught a lot of fish. It's almost time. Let's pack up and go back, Tianji said. Shui responded and threw the fish back into the pond. Releasing small fish was an old tradition for fishermen. Tianji asked, do you fish often? What's the highest record? Most people would answer the number of fish they caught or what rare species they caught, but Shui smiled and said, those who are willing to take the bait. And it was a Sister E mermaid. Tianji was very experienced in life and understood everything with just 4 words. He squinted his eyes and smiled without saying anything. The next second, the cat's meow attracted everyone's attention. They saw the white, soft and fluffy Xiao Naofu blocking Ling Ye's way and roaring fiercely. Meow meow meow. Chapter 483. Stop. Don't move. This hoo-hoo has something to say to you. Although Ling Yi didn't understand cat language, his system did and signaled for him to stop. Is this cat a spirit? No, this is a godless world, so it's impossible for it to become a spirit. The system muttered to itself. According to speculation, it may be a creature from another plane, and the possibility of it being a fast transmigrator cannot be ruled out. Ling Yi thought for a moment and smiled at the cameraman. It's dangerous for the kitten to be alone by the river. I'll accompany it for a while. Uncle, can you go back first? In this world, not many people could resist such a smile. The cameraman agreed to Ling Ye's request in a daze. Shi Sui pushed her gold-rimmed glasses and narrowed her eyes slightly. Tianji, children are so playful. Let him stay with the kitten. Let's go, I'll teach you how to play the suona when we get back. Shi Sui couldn't help but laugh. The netizens knew that teacher Tian was joking, but they were still amused and couldn't stop laughing in front of their screens. By the pond. Xiao Naofu puffed out its chest and roared domineeringly, "Ah meow. Don't bully this stupid woman, she has this hoo-hoo to protect her." Ling Yi listened to the simultaneous translation in his mind, squatted down, and tried to scratch Xiao Naofu's chin. "You? How are you going to protect her?" Xiao Naofu responded with a fierce tiger claw. Ling Yi sucked in a breath of cold air, and a bloody mark appeared on the back of his pale hand. "It's quite fierce." He sighed. "Umph." Xiao Naofu rolled its eyes at him. Ling Yi simply sat down on the ground. He didn't mind the dirt and coughed twice in a low voice. "In order to show my sincerity, I promise you that I won't hurt her. However, shouldn't you also explain your identity, kitten?" Xiao Naofu was furious. As it yelled, the system translated, "Are you blind? I'm not a kitten, king idiot." Ahem, the profanity has been blocked for the host. Hey, it mentions systems and fast transmigrations. Ling Yi raised his eyebrows. "You're a fast transmigrator?" Xiao Naofu stared at him with its icy blue cat eyes, cautious and vigilant. "My system number 522, do you know it? I heard that it has a good reputation among systems." Xiao Naofu's eyes lit up. Every system had its own personality. For example, number 522 was the kind that was full of righteousness. In the heat of the moment, Xiao Naofu told her about his failed reincarnation. "I'll pass on your message to the main system." Ling Yi smiled warmly. "You're such a good person, so Xiangyi must like you as well." His slender fingers gently rubbed the back of Xiao Naofu's neck. Xiao Naofu was elated by the compliment and didn't avoid it this time. Ling Yi easily gained Xiao Naofu's trust and even managed to get a lot of information out of him. After coaxing Xiao Naofu into a trance and hopping back to the villa, he stood there with a cruel smile on his face. What a naive kitten. You believe everything I say. In fact, his system was not number 522 at all. The system was silent for a while before asking, "Do you need me to transmit the bug information to the main system?" "No. Say. Intercept." Ling Yi coughed a few more times and clenched his sleeves tightly. There must be something wrong with this plane. His voice was bewitching. "Baby, don't you want to transcend?" System. Not every fast transmigrator and system had such strong beliefs. Maybe we can take advantage of the small bug in this plane to create a big one. Ling Ye's eyes were astonishingly bright. Chapter 484. Back at the villa, Shi Sui took the initiative to deal with the fish. Tianji asked in surprise, "Shi Sui, you're so good at cooking?" Shi Sui answered swiftly, "I learned a little from Sister Yi." With a loud bang, the fish was knocked out by him. The next scene was too gory, so there was no camera in the live stream. Tianji was full of praise for Shi Sui, but he had never been in the kitchen much in his life, so he had no choice but to stroll to the living room. He hummed 2 lines of Peking opera and his voice wasn't loud, but Xiangyi heard it. She turned her head and smiled faintly. "Is it locked up? Senior, you sing well." Tianji was amused. "Hey little girl, you know Peking opera too?" Seemingly realizing that he had said something inappropriate, he corrected himself. "I'd like to clarify that I don't mean to discriminate against women. I'm just expressing my personal opinion and have no intention of causing a debate or encroaching on public resources. Please forgive me for my inappropriate language." His tone was melodious and amusing, and the live stream was instantly filled with laughter. Teacher Tian's desire to survive is too strong. Tianji is a walking joke. Just by standing there, I can laugh the whole day just by looking at him. Xiangyi burst into laughter, making her milky white face look radiant and stunning. "I don't know much, but my grandpa often listened to it when I was a child, so I know a few classic songs." Tianji, on the other hand, was itching to learn. In addition to folk music, he also liked to sing Peking opera, but his singing was only at the level of a fan. However, he especially liked teaching others how to sing, especially young people. Tianji cleared his throat. "How can you just listen to it? Come on little girl, I'll teach you a few lines." Xiangyi froze for a moment, then closed the medical book in her hand and smiled. "Thank you, Teacher Tian." However, there were a lot of question marks in the live stream. "Sister E, wake up. Don't, kid, other people need money to sing, but have you forgotten that your singing is life-threatening?" For those who don't understand why everyone is so confused, you can search for a single that Xiangyi once released. Some curious people really went to search for it. Title of the song: Cafes Closed on a Rainy Day. Oh wow, at first glance it looked quite artistic. He clicked play. The moment she heard Xiangyi speak, his expression gradually cracked. No way, right? How could such a beautiful voice sing so badly? Not long after, a group of absent-minded netizens appeared in the live stream. After listening to half of the song, I feel like becoming a monk. Where's the sound modifier? It can't be the original song, right? A person who knows so many musical instruments is tone deaf. This is F*King ridiculous. Someone replied, "Dear, it's not that there aren't sound editors. The version you're listening to now is already the edited version, everyone?" She suddenly understood why Xiangyi was hated by the entire internet. It was fine if it was just lousy. The problem was it was too rotten. There were also people who retorted, "Sister E sang in Two Under One Roof before, it wasn't that bad?" However, not everyone had seen that live stream and the TV version wasn't broadcast there either. Hence, most people had already given up hope that Xiangyi would learn Peking opera. Some people even pressed the mute button, while others silently put on earplugs. Well, if they covered their ears, they wouldn't be able to hear Sister Yi's deadly voice. However, they still had to see her face. Some of Xiangyi's anti-fans rushed over when they heard the news, and they were so happy that they were about to cry. They had never seen the main character dissing herself like this. Wasn't this just rushing to give her dirt? They decisively turned the volume to the maximum and even turned on the screen recording function. Chapter 485. Hence, the livestream viewers were divided into two groups, those who liked to lick Tian's beauty and those who liked to record. Tianji drank a mouthful of water to moisten his throat and cleared his throat. "Come on, I'll sing a word and you'll sing a word." The anti-fans. Tsk. Most people learn to sing word by word, but Tianji has to teach Vase Fairy word by word. You can imagine how good Vase Fairy is to him. However, as soon as Tianji opened his mouth, everyone was dumbfounded. Just the word spring alone was like flowing water, twisting and turning, winding and winding, but it had a unique charm of its own. Damn, this is too difficult, isn't it? That was the common thought of countless netizens who were watching the live stream. In the next second, Xiangyi hummed along with him. Her pitch was perfect and she even imitated the twists and turns of the song perfectly. Damn it, how did she learn it so quickly? This was the exclamation of countless netizens who sang along only to realize that they could only sing the quacking of ducks and geese. Tianji was also very surprised and he praised, "Good. Very good. Little girl, you're very talented." He taught even more energetically and Xiangyi also learned very seriously. After breaking down each word, Tianji said, "I'll sing a complete sentence for you, listen carefully." Afraid that Xiangyi would feel pressured, he added, "It's okay if you can't learn it in one go." It was rare to meet someone with such a high level of comprehension. Even if he had to teach her a few more times, he would be willing to do so. Tianji clapped his hands to the beat and sang a whole sentence in a babbling voice. The netizens commented that they couldn't even learn a single word, let alone such a long sentence. Some anti-fans sneered. Waiting for a huge flop? A word is a word and a whole sentence is a whole sentence. How can Vase Fairy learn it in one go? I think this is similar to learning English. Everyone can recognize the 26 letters, but it's hard to say if they can be translated into words, let alone sentences. However, Spicy Tutu ignored them and focused on supporting Xiangyi. "Wooly, go. Xiangyi, Mama believes that you're the best. Sister E, just sing casually, don't feel pressured. Come on, let's go." Tianji clapped his hands for Xiangyi. The young girl sang along with the rhythm. "Outside the pavilion of spring and autumn, there's a storm, ha." The netizens who had their voices turned on were stunned. Oh my god, how is this possible? The netizens who didn't turn on their voices were still joking. Shut up, we're on the same side. Beautiful eyes, seductive soul, beautiful voice, heartbreaking. Looking at the video, she seems to be quite engrossed in her singing. Friends who have turned on their voices, are you guys okay? However, after waiting for a long time, no one scolded Xiangyi. Instead, there were a bunch of strange comments. What the F***CK? This isn't real? Lip sync? He must be lip syncing. Mute party, huh? I've been waiting for so long. Why don't you guys spit on me? Could it be that it was so bad that he couldn't even spit it out? Someone reached out a little Giorgio that was testing the waters at the edge of danger and raised the volume by a notch. Tianji said excitedly, "Genius. Little girl, you are simply a genius." She felt that Tianji was going to say, Damn it. Xiangyi said embarrassedly, I happen to have heard this song before. Tianji's eyes lit up. Sing a verse for me then. Xiangyi tried singing a verse. Tianji slapped his thigh and exclaimed, well sung. Little girl, I'll learn from you. Teach me. Everyone was dumbfounded. What? Teacher Tian? Are you the teacher or is Sister Yi the teacher? Chapter 486. When Ling Yi returned after fooling Xiao Naofu, he heard the master of this body pointing at Xiangyi and saying half-jokingly, this is my master, your grandmaster. A question mark slowly appeared above the young man's head. He was just fooling the little kitten. How did his sister's seniority rise? Xiangyi, Senior Tian, don't joke around. I don't deserve to be called master. If you like Beijing opera, we can communicate more in the future. Tianji laughed and exchanged contact information with Xiangyi. Ling Ye's eyelashes fluttered and he coughed for a while before whispering, Sister, can I add you? Xiangyi couldn't stand seeing such a pitiful expression on a good-looking person's face, so she added him. There was a buzz. It was a message from Ling Yi. Little Yetsu. Sister, don't you want to know what my mission is this time? Xiangyi was speechless. Well, it seemed that she had been deceived by the young man's appearance. What little angel? He's clearly a little devil. She replied, it has nothing to do with me. Ling Yi licked the corner of his lips and tapped the screen with his slender fingers elegantly as if he was dancing on the black and white piano keys. Sister, you're so cold. He clicked on the emoji pack and chose for a long time before sending a pitiful kitten emoji that he was most satisfied with. However, a notification appeared on the screen. The message has been sent, but it was rejected by the other party. Did she blacklist him? Ling Ye's facial muscles twitched. On the other side, Tianji received a message. He closed his phone and looked at Li Jianyu. Director Li, the new disciple I mentioned to you is here. Li Jianyu hurriedly said, I'll arrange for someone to pick her up. Director Yin was the one who introduced Tianji to them. When Tianji proposed to bring two of his little disciples to the show, Li Jianyu naturally had no objections. He assumed that the other disciple was in the music industry, so he didn't care much about her identity. Xiangyi glanced at the kitchen. Sure, Sui is busy, I'll go pick her up. Ling Yi said, I'll go too. Okay, you two young people can run errands. I won't go. I want to listen to Xiangyi's performance just now. Tianji took out his mobile phone. He had recorded Xiangyi's performance just now. The netizens joked that Teacher Tian had failed to take in a disciple and had instead found himself a master. On the way to the entrance of the manor, Ling Yi tried to strike up a conversation with Xiangyi several times. However, regardless of whether he acted cute or pitiful, Xiangyi was very polite to him. Distant politeness. Ling Yi clenched his fists, feeling somewhat indignant. The netizens in the live stream couldn't stand it anymore. Sister Yi, pay attention to your brother. Woo-woo, Sister Yi, you scumbag, your brother is about to cry cack. Ling Yi is too cute. Why can't such an obedient child get Sister Yi's love? I don't really understand you women. If the genders were swapped, you would definitely be scolded and criticized for starting a harem. Why are you so excited when a woman starts a harem? None of your business. Do you need a reason to be a couple? Doghead. The summer wind blew, bringing with it a sticky and stuffy feeling. A black business car was parked at the entrance. It seemed low-key, but it was expensive. Ling Yi stepped forward and opened the door for the person in the car. Xiangyi caught sight of a familiar face. She frowned slightly. Qin Wanyin, who had exquisite makeup and was dressed in a long dress, seemed to have been reborn. She looked at Xiangyi with a strong sense of superiority. She had now been chosen to be a fast transmigrator. Was Xiangyi worthy of being compared to her? What a joke. I've been suffering for 2 days because of my health, but I still haven't written much. I'm feeling pretty bad too. Sigh, I'll try to write more during the day. Good night. Chapter 487. Hello, Miss Qin, Xiangyi greeted her calmly. Although they weren't close, there was nothing wrong with her manners. Qin Wanyin smiled at Xiangyi and said, Hello, Xiangyi. I'm Teacher Tian's new disciple. Please take care of me in the future. The netizens were dumbfounded. Hello? Isn't this Qin Wanyin? I'm impressed. How did she manage to greet Xiangyi so calmly? If I were her, I would be so embarrassed that I would dig my toes into the ground. Is Teacher Tian's taste bad? Qin Wanyin previously used her main account to pretend to be a pure white lotus and used her sub-account to defame Sister Yi. Have you all forgotten that she was exposed? However, Qin Wanyin had previously accumulated a group of loyal fans. After several rounds of abuse, the fans that remained were the type that would continue to support Qin Wanyin even if she were to commit murder and arson. They would form a logical and self-consistent fan base. Their fighting prowess was quite astonishing. Stop defaming our immortal Qin, okay? Immortal Qin was accepted by teacher Tian because of her musical talent. Some maggots should stop being jealous of our immortal Qin. Our little immortal Qin was too straightforward and said a few honest words. That's why she was banned by the vicious vase fairy. But who asked her to be so outstanding that she still managed to get the script of a strong woman story? When the passers-by saw these comments, they didn't have a good impression of Qin Wanyan. Sometimes, the comments of fans would have a strong impact on the artiste. Qin Wanyan took the initiative to hold onto Xiangyi's arm, but the latter quietly avoided her. She had no choice but to take a step back and leave with Ling Yi. To her surprise, Ling Yi shook her off and chased after Xiangyi pitifully while panting. Sister, wait. You're walking too fast. Qin Wanyan was speechless. Wait, what's wrong with this person? Isn't Ling Yi here to help me achieve a perfect life? Why isn't he treating me well and sticking to Xiangyi instead? Xiangyi glanced at the cold sweat on Ling Yi's forehead and slowed down her pace. They remained silent the entire way. Back in the living room, Tianji's eyes narrowed into slits when he saw Qin Wanyan. He took the initiative to introduce her to everyone. This is my new disciple. She's the best at playing the suona. Qin Wanyan's expression froze. She just wanted to use her identity as Tianji's disciple as a springboard to climb to the top of the entertainment industry step by step. She didn't really want to do folk music. What's more, it was an unpresentable instrument like the suona. Qin Wanyan hated Tianji to death in her heart. Why did he mention that she was playing the suona in front of so many people? Reality proved that Qin Wanyan's worries were not unfounded. As soon as Tianji's introduction came out, the livestream room was filled with laughter. The people who were the most confused were her fans. What? Is Immortal Qin playing the suona? Isn't it a guqin? When our little fairy plays the suona, she must be a fairy too, right? When teacher Tian mentioned his beloved disciple, he couldn't stop talking. He knew that Qin Wanyan wanted to be famous, so he deliberately helped her make her presence known to the netizens. Come, it's the evening smoke. Let's blow it for everyone. For a moment, the situation was extremely awkward. Hey, don't be shy. Why don't you get Ling Yi to accompany you? Teacher Xiang, do you know how to play the sanxian too? Can you give me a hand? Sure. Sure. Qin Wanyan found it hard to turn down such a generous offer. She had no choice but to dawdle and take out the suona. Her expression and mood were as if she was going to visit a grave. Chapter 488. Ling Yi had brought a guqin with him in the car. When he took it out, the simple design of the guqin amazed many people. Everyone knew that he was very accomplished in the piano, but they were curious about his guqin skills. Xiangyi also took out her sanxian. The guqin was black and decorated with red paint patterns. The 3 strings were exquisite, and the 2 sides of the guqin were covered with snake skin. The 2 gyukins looked ancient and charming. The suona that Qin Wanyan took out was carefully made by Tianji. The mouth of the suona was golden, and there was a piece of red silk cloth tied to it. It looked very festive. Qin Wanyan tried to secretly remove the red cloth, but she met Tianji's sad eyes. Child, this is beautiful. Why can't you understand Master's aesthetics? She put on a fake smile. Master, I like it. I just want to tidy it up. Let me do it. Tianji volunteered and removed the red silk cloth. After thinking for a while, he retied it into a fluffy bow. Well, my little disciple is a girl. She should like it. Little did he know that Qin Wanyan had already cursed his ancestors in her heart. What bow? It's so old-fashioned. She hated Ling Yi even more. There were so many musical instrument skill cards in the system store, but he recommended her to choose the suona card. Wasn't he deliberately tricking her? However, when she met Ling Yi's innocent eyes, she was confused again. Perhaps Ling Yi was really just being nice? All kinds of complicated feelings intertwined in her heart. She heard Tianji say, "Then let's play Carrying the Bridal Sedan." Sure, Sui, don't mess with the fish. Come out and listen. This song is very festive. Hearing the sound, Sure Sui wiped his hands and came out of the kitchen. His eyes fell on Xiangyi. Seeing that the girl's hair was slightly messy, he strode forward and took out a hair clip with a bow from his pocket. He fixed the girl's scattered hair. Xiangyi licked her lips uncomfortably. Thank you. Sure Sui chuckled. You're welcome. Qin Wanyan felt depressed. Xiangyi's bow was a scene from an idol drama. Her bow was a scene from a village drama. Gritting her teeth, Qin Wanyan steeled her heart and picked up the suona. She was the one who could achieve a perfect life. What did a mere Xiangyi count for? That idiot must not even know what fast transmigration is. At the same time, Ling Yi and Xiangyi started to play the prelude. The Guqin sound was akin to high mountains and flowing rivers, deep and distant, while the Sanxian sound was akin to the ringing of a bell, deep and clear. In terms of timbre alone, the two were actually not very suitable for this song. However, after the delicate and skillful performance of the two, it gave off a different feeling. The netizens in the livestream praised group went online. Wow, this song is so good. Sister E and her brother have such chemistry. Woo, I feel like the two of them are soulmates when it comes to music. Jiang Zhujiu, what about me? It's obviously a story of three people, but I'm not worthy of a name? Smile, smile. However, the moment Qin Wanyan puffed up her cheeks and blew the suona, be it the plucked strings of the Guqin or the glissando, they could no longer be heard. His ears were filled with the shocking penetrating power of the hooligan suona. Beep, 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 beep. In particular, the cameraman even gave Qin Wanyan a close-up shot. The screen was full of images of Qin Wanyan puffing up her cheeks and shaking her head while playing the suona. Qin Wanyan's loyal fans were dumbfounded. Where's our little fairy? I suddenly want to quit being her fan. Chapter 489. That scene was so delightful that it made them hate Qin Wanyan even more. Ha ha, I can't take it anymore, I'm laughing so hard that I'm out of breath. I've gradually forgotten that Qin Wanyan used to be the lead singer of a girl group. She's actually quite good at playing, but why are her cheeks so big? The layman enjoyed the show while the expert enjoyed the intricacies. Others found Qin Wanyan to be hilarious, but Tianji was mesmerized by her performance. She's a rare talent that only appears once in a decade. His lung capacity, his rhythm, and his emotions could only be described with one word: spot on. It's too much to add and too little to subtract. However, Shi Sui felt a strong sense of disconnect. It was very familiar. His slender, jade-like fingers with distinct joints slowly tapped on the table. All of a sudden he stopped. Shi Sui raised his hand and adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses, his eyes gloomy and gloomy. He recalled where he had felt that feeling before. It was Xiangyi in the past year. Qin Wanyan felt like a completely different person when she was playing the suona. It was as if she wasn't the one playing the suona, but something in her body that was controlling her. Xiao Naofu, who was in the cat villa, was woken up by the sound of the suona. It looked at the source of the sound with sleepy eyes. Meow. Its fur immediately stood up. Little Shiji, who was sleeping next to it, hurriedly licked it with its watery black eyes full of bewilderment. Woof. Xiao Naofu pushed little Shiji away with its paws and stared at Qin Wanyan with its icy blue eyes. Little Shiji nestled next to it aggrievedly with its ears drooping. Xiao Naofu was completely dumbfounded. Why is there another fast transmigrator? This doesn't make sense. There must be something wrong. The song came to an end. Qin Wanyan put down the suona and felt a sudden soreness in her facial muscles. In fact, she didn't know how to play the suona at all. Every time she played it, it was because of the skill card. Good. Tianji exclaimed with a radiant smile and tried his best to applaud his disciple. Out of politeness, Shi Sui also clapped twice. Qin Wanyan's eyes lit up when she saw him applaud. Could it be that Shi Sui had a whole new level of respect for her? Actually, the person he liked now was her fresh, refined, and unconventional self? She asked the system in her mind, I want to conquer him. Help me think of a way. The one assigned to Qin Wanyan was a new system. It said weakly, Host, he is not within the scope of your mission. Qin Wanyan, don't you exist to help me achieve a perfect life? Then, in addition to my career, I also need to have love, so he is also a part of my perfect life. The little system said, Please wait for a moment, I need to check the database. Qin Wanyan said disdainfully, How useless. The little system, Woo, in any case I have Ling Yi helping me. Helping me is his mission. It's only right and proper. Qin Wanyan was brimming with confidence. Give me another beauty filter card. Host points are very precious. It is not recommended to exchange for this item. This item will only add to your original beauty? Disobedient? Do you think I won't replace you? Successfully exchanged for the card. Qin Wanyan couldn't wait to use the card. Her long dress swayed gracefully as she walked toward Shi Sui. Tianji encouraged her, Keep up the good work. Thank you, teacher. Qin Wanyan smiled and looked at Shi Sui. Senior Shi, what do you think of my performance? Shi Sui, Miss Qin, your eyelids are falling. He paused and asked sincerely, Do you need glue? Chapter 490. Qin Wanyan's expression collapsed. Feeling angry and panicked, she quickly turned her back to the camera and used her phone as a mirror to search for her eyelids. Sure enough, half of the eyelid sticker had fallen off. Just as she was thinking about how to remedy the situation, a pair of pale and slender fingers suddenly appeared in front of her and tore off her eyelid sticker. Ling Yi said innocently, "Sister Wanyan, where's the glue? I'll help you put it back on." Qin Wanyan was speechless. "So be it, why did you have to tear it off first?" After tearing off the eyelid sticker, Qin Wanyan's eyes had become single pairs. Even with the enhancement of the beauty filter card, her looks were still affected. The netizens in the livestream were laughing like crazy. What kind of straight man is Shurindi speaking? Ling Ye's brother is also very straight. He even wants to help her stick it on, haha. Ah, single eyelids really do affect one's looks. Even a beauty like Qin Wanyan can't stand it. How dare she call herself a beauty in front of Sister E? Sister E can beat her without makeup. She's wearing heavy makeup, so she's just bragging with her eyes closed, right? At the side, Xiangyi sneezed. Before she could reach for the tissue box, Shui had already pulled out a tissue and stuffed it into her hand. She then got up to pour her a cup of hot tea. When she returned with the tea, she wrapped the small blanket around her again. This set of movements was smooth and natural. Qin Wanyan was dumbfounded. The netizens watching the live stream were also dumbfounded. Who just said that Shurindi is straight? Ah, the way he lowered his head to cover Sister E with the blanket is so cool. What kind of godly man is this? Seriously, from now on all the male protagonists in romance novels have faces. Shurindi's double standards have won my heart. My family is very satisfied, I just don't know if Sister E has been enlightened. Boo-hoo, Sister E, this man likes you, do you know? Tianji told Qin Wanyan, who had just finished touching up her makeup, about the things to take note of when playing the Suona. You can play it even better, first of all, the technique. Qin Wanyan listened absent-mindedly, feeling that this old man was so annoying. She had the system as her golden finger, so she didn't have to worry about not knowing how to play the Suona. Tianji seemed to see her impatience. He sighed but was not angry. He only said, "Wanyan, you have to calm down. Look at Teacher Xiang. There's a saying that goes, 1,000 days for the pipa, 100 days for the zither, and half a lifetime for the sanxian." For her to have such achievements at such a young age, she must have put in a lot of hard work. Qin Wanyan grew even more frustrated. How could Xiangyi compare to her? She was a fast transmigrator. What was Xiangyi to him? She already had a cheat in her life, so why would she still painstakingly learn such useless things? Tianji let out another long sigh. He didn't show his dissatisfaction with Qin Wanyan's temperament in the live broadcast room. Qin Wanyan's thoughts weren't on him at all. Instead, she was searching for Shui. She watched as the refined, abstinent and elegant man rolled up his sleeves and went to the kitchen to cook fish. Xiangyi leaned against the door frame and explained the cooking steps to him. From time to time, their gazes met in the air. Shui would always smile gently and dotingly. He would never smile at her like that. Qin Wanyan's fingertips sank into her palms. She slowly exhaled and pretended that nothing had happened as she walked to Xiangyi's side. "Sister E, I heard that you've done a lot of charity work and donated a lot of money to the Springflower Foundation. I recently saw some reports about the lack of hygiene products for the girls left behind. I want to do something to help. Can you tell me what I should do?" Chapter 491. Hearing Qin Wanyan's words, Xiangyi's anti-fans in the live stream were stunned. Huh? The vase fairy actually does charity? Philanthropists are often equated with kind-hearted people. Everyone's favorable impression of Xiangyi instantly rose by a lot. Some even expressed that they would never criticize Xiangyi again. I was wrong, the vase fairy? Oh no, the little vase is actually so kind. I can't criticize her anymore. Xiangyi said calmly, "You can consult a professional organization." Qin Wanyan pretended to be surprised. Huh? When you do charity, don't you do it yourself? Xiangyi looked at her strangely. What do you think counts as charity? At least, you should personally go to the orphanages and nursing homes to accompany the poor elderly and children, and give them some rice, flour, oil, and daily necessities. Xiangyi nodded. I see. She ignored Qin Wanyan and went to help Shui prepare the fish with pickled cabbage. The netizens were dumbfounded. That's it? That's it? Qin Wanyan is quite likable? Has Xiangyi really done charity? Why do I feel like she hasn't done anything like what Qin Wanyan said? Damn, there's something to eat, friends. Mrs. Tsin and the Springflower Foundation have posted on Weibo. The current state of the internet was that everyone would come to eat when there was something to eat. Everyone rushed to Weibo like bees in a field of melons. The Spring Flower Foundation was a private charity that was very well known. The founder was Mrs. Tsin from the socialite circle of Nanqing. She had an elegant demeanor and often shared her daily life online. Hence she had many fans. Just a few minutes ago, she updated her personal Weibo account. Tsin Suqin, lies grow all year round. The Spring Flower Foundation's official Weibo account also updated. Spring Flower Foundation. Due to receiving too many private messages, we solemnly declare that our foundation has never received any donations from Ms. Xiangyi. Thank you for your support of the Spring Flower Foundation. We would like to express our gratitude to the kind-hearted people in society. Charity is not easy, and we have no intention of encroaching on public resources. We only hope that a small organization like us will not be taken advantage of again. As soon as these two Weibo posts were posted, it instantly caused a stir. The amount of information he had was too much. Nanny, so who's lying? Didn't she say it very clearly? She didn't receive a single cent of Xiangyi's donation. Everyone calm down. Qin Wanyan was the one who said Sister Yi donated, not Sister Yi herself. So Xiangyi cheated the donation? Why do you say you're doing charity if you're not donating? Ah, really? He couldn't tell that she was this kind of person. Disgusting. F***ck Xiangyi is scamming donations? Such a big melon must be pushed to the top of the hot searches. The more the rumors spread, the more outrageous they became. In the end, the passers-by didn't care about the truth. They just caught on to the words Xiangyi's donation fraud, and started to scold her. Using charity to clear one's name was something everyone hated. What's more, using charity to gain popularity. As for the Spring Flower Foundation, it had unknowingly increased its popularity. In a short period of time, it had received a large amount of donations. Qin Wanyan hid from the camera and secretly played with her phone. After seeing the developments on the internet, she sent Tsintai a message. Tsintai, don't forget about the resources we agreed on. She locked her phone screen and smiled. Xiangyi is doing charity? How is that possible? Qin Wanyan had known Xiangyi for a year and was well aware of her true nature. She was an extremely selfish person. She deserves to be labeled as a scammer. Chapter 492. Apart from Qin Wanyan, the other guests were unaware of the public opinion on the internet. Li Jinyu and the others saw it and were having a headache over how to deal with it. Why do I feel like this Spring Flower Foundation is trying to scam Sister Yi? Li Jinyu complained. Normally, there would be some time for official accounts to react to such a matter. However, as soon as Qin Wanyan asked the question in the live stream, the Spring Flower Foundation's official account immediately issued a statement to clarify the matter. The timing was too delicate. Ruan Qing said, "Let's continue with the live stream first. The Public Relations Department of Tomato Entertainment should be able to handle it. We'll see what happens later. If there's a need for cooperation, we'll get Sister Yi to clarify the matter in the live stream. That'll be more efficient." Seeing that she had arranged everything in an orderly manner, Li Jinyu scratched his head and said, "I suddenly feel like I've been worrying for nothing. Well, Sister Yi is now the CEO of Tomato Entertainment. The CEO of Stars Entertainment is my uncle and the eldest brother of Linshan Law Firm. The power of these two people alone is enough to subvert the entertainment industry. Not to mention I still have Xiangyi, and Madame Xiang." 3 dishes and a soup were served on the dining table. Xiangyi had been itching to cook with her uninjured hand, but she was stopped by Shi Sui. "Everyone try it. If you don't like it, don't force yourself. We can still order takeout," Shi Sui said with a gentle and elegant smile. Although everyone had different thoughts, they still had to eat. They picked up their chopsticks and tasted the main dish first, pickled fish with pickled cabbage. The fish was a carp that Tianji had caught. It was large and plump. Shi Sui sliced the fish into slices and added the seasoning that Xiangyi had put in. She then added egg white and stirred it evenly so that every piece of fish was coated with egg pulp. That was the secret to making the fish fresh and tender. After deep-frying pickled peppers, Sichuan peppers, sesame peppers, garlic cloves, and other ingredients until they were fragrant, she added pickled cabbage and fish slices to stir-fry them together. Then she added the separated fish meat and bones and slowly placed them in the casserole. The final product was a creamy white and fragrant fish soup. The fish meat was fresh and tender, the pickled cabbage was glistening, and the red chili peppers. It was visually and fragrant. Tianji tasted it with his chopsticks and praised, "Oh, Shi Sui, your culinary skills are amazing. Any girl who marries you will be blessed." Shi Sui smiled. Tianji changed the topic, "But it's a new era now. Men and women are equal. It's the same if you marry into the family. I'm marrying into her family. I've had a good relationship with my wife for so many years. Let's eat soft rice. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Netizens? At this moment, no one had the time to scold Xiangyi for fraud. Everyone's attention was diverted. Marry into the family? Shirindi married Sister Yi? Seems pretty good too. Isn't Sister Yi hiding Jiao Jiao in the manor now? Shirindi is Sister Yi's Jiao Jiao baby duck. Once I accept the fact that Shirindi is Xiao Jiao Jiao. Oh my god, I want to write a fanfic. The sister in front, here's the keyboard, hurry up. Under everyone's focus, Shi Sui smiled and said, "Thank you for your advice, senior. I'll consider it." Xiangyi choked and coughed. She wanted to vomit, but she was a little far from the trash can. In the next second, the man's fair and slender hand appeared in front of her. Shi Sui tilted her head slightly and removed her gold-rimmed glasses. Her peach blossom eyes seemed to contain deep emotions and were very seductive. His voice was low and magnetic, without a trace of reluctance. Vomit on my hand. Chapter 493. Ling Yi, who was about to pick up the trash can and move it to Xiangyi's feet, froze in midair. Damn. This man is even better at love than all the other fast transmigrators I've seen. Qin Wanyan's eyes were filled with disbelief. Why is this man so unreachable to me, treating Xiangyi so well? She should be the one chosen by the heavens. Tianji, on the other hand, was smiling like an uncle, as if he was taking the lead in making love. Xiangyi was stunned for a moment before she shook her head to indicate that it was dirty. Shi Sui, however, said, "It's okay, I'll wash my hands later." His words seemed to have a bewitching charm. Xiangyi subconsciously spat out the pickled pepper on his palm. The clear lines on his palm were stained with food residue. Even though he was a clean freak, his expression didn't change at all. His eyes were filled with gentleness. The fans of the untimely couple exclaimed, "Oh my god, I've hit it again." Xiangyi felt as if she was soaking in a jar of honey water. It was sweet and warm. Her face was no longer as calm as before. Instead, she was smiling brightly. She looked like a young girl. Ling Yi looked at the small interaction between the two of them, and a hint of yearning flashed past the depths of his eyes. Not everyone was willing to transmigrate for missions. Killing, scheming against each other, life and death parting. One world after another, they didn't even have a chance to catch their breath. No matter how deep their friendship was, it would disappear by the time they reached the next world. The more memories there were, the more painful it would be. Ling Ye's desire to stay in this world became stronger and stronger. Xiangyi had a fatal attraction to him. It wasn't just the feelings between a man and a woman. It was also a sense of belonging, like a chick returning to its nest. He could feel that he was jealous of Shi Sui. Ling Yi coughed softly and raised his hand to scoop up the pickled fish. However, due to his absent-mindedness, he accidentally knocked over the sky-blue soup bowl. In an instant, the fish slices and pickled vegetables all spilled out, and the soup flowed down the table. It was rare for Ling Yi to be in such a sorry state. Feeling uneasy, he took out a tissue to wipe the table, but the tissue was quickly used up. In a moment of desperation, he wanted to wipe the table with the hem of his shirt, but Xiangyi stopped him. The young man looked up with a layer of mist in his amber eyes. "Sister," Xiangyi said, "sit still. I'll get a rag." Ling Yi felt like he was sitting on pins and needles as she took out the rag. He was rarely afraid of anything, but now he was a little afraid. He was afraid that Xiangyi would scold him. However, Xiangyi just took a few pieces of cloth and gave one to Shi Sui. Shi Sui wiped the table skillfully. It was obvious that she had done a lot of housework. Xiangyi handed another rag to Ling Yi. "Here, wipe your hands." Ling Yi anxiously waited for her to continue. After waiting for a long time, she only said, "What's wrong? Are you scalded?" Ling Yi couldn't accurately describe his feelings at that moment. He pursed his lips and said, "Sorry, I spilled the vegetables. Everyone makes mistakes like this." The young girl wiped the area that Shi Sui had wiped. "There's still some left in the pot. Can you go and get another bowl?" Qin Wanyan retorted, "Xiangyi, Ling Ye's hands need to play the zither and piano. How can you let his hands do such vulgar work?" She thought that she had hit the nail on the head. The next second, Ling Yi said without hesitation, "I can do it." He then glanced at Qin Wanyan. "A man's hands can do anything." Qin Wanyan? Chapter 494. "Wait, are you my assistant or Xiangyi's lackey? Why did you betray me just like that?" Qin Wanyan couldn't figure it out. As for Ling Yi, the way he went to scoop a bowl of rice made it seem as if he was going to complete some important mission. "Wait a minute." Xiangyi suddenly called out to him. Ling Yi looked back nervously. "It's him, sis?" Don't fill it too full. It'll burn you if it spills. Ling Yi knew that this was just a casual reminder. If it were anyone else she would have said the same thing. However, Ling Ye's heart still skipped a beat. Even in the most fearful and despairing world, he still had an unyielding will. Only in front of her, would he submit to her gentleness. Ling Yi realized that he still couldn't resist her. Qin Wanyan volunteered. I'll go with him. She didn't let the cameraman follow them. When they passed by an area without cameras, she signaled for Ling Yi to turn off his microphone. Ling Yi lazily turned it off. What's the matter? Qin Wanyan couldn't keep her cool. Ling Yi, what's the meaning of this? Are you trying to ruin my show in front of everyone? Am I? Ling Yi blinked innocently. His angelic face looked even more pitiful than a girl's when he showed weakness. Sis Wanyan, you misunderstood me. I just want to perform well. If I have popularity, I can help you better, Sister Wanyan. Qin Wanyan was obviously shaken. The youth seized the opportunity to question her. Sis Wanyan, do you not trust me? If that's the case, I might not be able to help you. Qin Wanyan was anxious. Don't you want to complete your mission? Of course I want to. Like hell he wanted to. A safe and stable plane like this was something that could only be encountered by chance. To Ling Yi it was no different from a vacation. Of course he didn't want to leave. He even wanted to stay here forever. But Ling Yi looked conflicted. But Sis Wanyan, if you don't trust me, I won't be able to cooperate with you. Qin Wanyan felt that Ling Yi was still useful when she thought about the convenience he had created for her. Thus, she softened her tone and comforted him. Don't think too much. I'm just afraid that you'll be charmed by that woman Xiangyi. She's an idiot. Look at how she's being cursed on the internet. Ling Yi suddenly narrowed his eyes as a sharp glint appeared in his amber eyes. By the way, is there any way for me to quickly conquer Shui? It would be best if I could replace Xiangyi and become a permanent guest of Two Under One Roof. Wouldn't I be able to complete my career and obtain love at the same time? Sister Wanyan wants to snatch away Xiangyi's things? Ling Yi asked. Qin Wanyan was filled with a sense of superiority. That should have been mine in the first place. I'm the chosen one. Who does she think she is? He's just an ordinary person. Ling Yi smiled and said, Sister Wanyan, it's not good to be too greedy. Qin Wanyan frowned. She had a feeling that Ling Yi was implying something, but his expression was too harmless. She suppressed her suspicions towards Ling Yi and threatened. If you don't help me properly, I'll make sure that you can't complete your mission. Ling Yi lowered his eyelids and replied obediently, I know. By the time a new bowl of fish with pickled cabbage was served, the comments in the live broadcast room were already unbearable. Countless netizens on Weibo were either sarcastic or filled with righteous indignation, but all of them were criticizing Xiangyi. Thank you, Miss Xiang, for donating the air to the Spring Flower Foundation. You haven't done anything yet you want to suck blood? Dream on. Come out and get beaten up. You're still in the mood to eat? Do you know how many children can't even afford to eat? I know. Sob sob. Good night. Chapter 495. These netizens were all there because of Mistson and the Spring Flower Foundation. Hence, it was only natural for them to target Xiangyi. Even though Tomato Entertainment immediately clarified that Xiangyi did not mention donating to the Spring Flower Foundation and that it was Qin Wanyan who mentioned it, there were still people who retorted. Since she didn't donate, why didn't she refute Qin Wanyan when she mentioned it? Instead, she tried to ride on Qin Wanyan's coattails. The public relations department was speechless. This batch of netizens is so stubborn. Are you all the reincarnations of Archimedes? At the same time, the Spring Flower Foundation's official Weibo account updated a long post with pictures and text, describing how their organization had gone to a mountain village to donate sanitary products to the girls there. There was a paragraph written on Weibo. Xiaozhu is 13 years old this year and her monthly allowance is only 20 yuan. Sanitary pads are a huge burden to her. She once thought about dropping out of school. However, our arrival caused stars to appear in Little Bamboo's eyes. Coupled with a photo of a mountain village girl smiling innocently at the camera, as well as a letter written by a young girl, many netizens were moved to tears, especially the female netizens. Sob sob, you girls are living such a miserable life. I'll donate money to you now. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I won't let you suffer like I did back then. The Spring Flower Foundation is the real charity. Celebrities like Xiangyi who only know how to ride on others' coattails are disgusting. Now that you compare them, they're both fair, rich and beautiful, but the difference is huge. Mistson is practically an angel on earth. Miss Xiang, don't try to wash away some maggots. Your steam won't be able to wash them clean? The Spicy Tutu fans were dumbfounded. What's with these people's logic? Ride on others' coattails? Who exactly is riding on others' coattails? Although Mistson was famous, she was only an internet celebrity. Xiangyi was now an A-list celebrity who had been certified by national news. As for the Spring Flower Foundation, they had received so many donations, but they hadn't even released a single financial statement after so long. Who knew where the money had gone? Taking 10,000 steps back, even if Xiangyi really didn't do charity, what was there to mock? At first, Spicy Tutu couldn't take it anymore and went to talk to the netizens. However, she was quickly stopped by the big fans. On the internet, we represent Xiangyi and we can't bring trouble to her. Tutu girls, don't panic, we have to believe in Xiangyi. It had to be said that the Spicy Tutu girls were all highly disciplined. After some guidance, apart from a few who were a little agitated, most of them had calmed down. That's right, they had to believe in Xiangyi. On the other hand, Mistson had bought a few hot searches for herself. For a moment, she was in the limelight on Weibo, and her number of fans increased rapidly. At this moment, among the loving family, Xiang Qi, who liked to surf the internet, forwarded the Weibo post to the group and added a lot of angry emojis. Sanbao, I'm so angry. What kind of purebred idiot is this? I want to throw a sewing machine at them. Sanbao? We changed the group nickname. So lame. Come out and accept your death. Dabao, little sister changed it. Sanbao has withdrawn a message. Sanbao, wow. Little sister's name is so cute, heartwarming, and loving. Dabao, Airbao, Sanbao, Sibao, Xiaobao, we're an auspicious and happy family. Dabao, big brother, don't you think so? Big brother, are you there? Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Sibao. Third brother, you have no integrity. Chapter 496. Sangchen didn't reply. Instead, Xiangli popped up and sent a smiley emoticon with an unclear meaning. Sanbao, second brother, don't smile like that. I'm afraid of crying. Sibao. Third brother, don't flatter yourself. Maybe he wasn't smiling at you. Sanbao, colon? Jokes aside, he still had to protect his sister. Sanbao, it's just a trending topic. Who doesn't know how to be on it? Not long after that, #Hades' personal show #trended at an astonishing speed on Weibo. When the fashion industry saw this, they were shocked. The genius Hades, who had been away for a long time, was returning. Not only did Hades' studio announce the upcoming show, but they also released a set of 9 ready-to-wear designs. Each design was unbelievably beautiful. However, the studio claimed that these were the 9 designs that they were most dissatisfied with among Hades' works this time. Instantly, all the big shots in the fashion industry reposted it, but the content was all? Countless fashion designers tearfully typed, "Is this what a genius is? If I can design one in my lifetime, I'll die with no regrets." The netizens' comments also exploded. F***CK, it's so good. Is there a link? Looks like this year's fashion style is going to be redefined. Hades? What's his relationship with Kelsey? Are they brothers? Mistson saw that the netizens' attention was shifting. She couldn't bear to lose the popularity, so she spent money to buy a new trending topic. This time, the Spring Flower Foundation released a video of an interview with the girls who stayed behind. The girls in the video had timid eyes and avoided the camera. However, from their words, one could feel their helplessness and sadness. Coupled with the emotional soundtrack and artistic editing, as well as the popularity of the trending topic, the video quickly went viral. The Spring Flower Foundation once again took the top spot on the trending topic. However, within a few minutes, a new trending topic appeared. #Team Logic World Championship. The first to stir up was the esports industry. *CK. They won the championship. No need to say anything else. Logic is awesome. It's over. All of a sudden, Weibo became a carnival for esports fans. Ordinary netizens might not be able to understand the gameplay, but this was an international competition. The international tournament. Forget it, to be able to win the world championship, they must be praised. Especially when the video of the 5-man team of Logic going on stage to receive the award went viral, the popularity reached a terrifying level. Who's the younger brother in the center? I'm screaming like a groundhog. Are you sure you won't debut with such a good-looking face? F***CK, that side profile, that height, when his teammate hugged him just now, he rubbed against his shirt and even exposed the outline of his abs. Isn't this the standard image of a male lead in an esports novel? Madame Tsun watched helplessly as the trending topic that she had bought fell again. She called the staff to question them, but the other party's response was particularly shameless. We can't do anything about this. The other party's trending topic is real traffic. Our server is about to crash. In other words, your trending searches are all fake. How can you blame us? Madame Tsen was speechless for a moment before she said irritably, I'll pay more. You guys have to stay in the top 3 for me. The staff immediately agreed, thinking that this lady had already been squeezed out of the trending topic twice. She shouldn't be so unlucky again, right? Chapter 497. After adding the money, Miss Tsen felt her heart ache. She was afraid that the money would go to waste, so she contacted Qin Wanyan and told her to mention the Spring Flower Foundation on the show. It would be best if she could talk to Xiangyi directly. Miss Tsen had already realized that Xiangyi was now a walking celebrity. As long as she became a hot topic, the Spring Flower Foundation would definitely receive more donations. After receiving the news, Qin Wanyan was a little anxious. She had already made it obvious enough the last time. If she did it again, what if she caused trouble? However, Miss Tsen was introduced to her by Ling Yi, and she wanted to use Miss Tsen to enter the upper-class socialite circle. For the sake of this precious connection, Qin Wanyan gritted her teeth and steeled her heart as she followed behind Xiangyi. Xiangyi was dumbfounded. Qin Wanyan said with a fake smile, Sister Yi, where are you going? I'll accompany you. To the wine cellar. Seeing that Tianji liked peach wine very much, she wanted to get 2 jars for him to take away when he left. Since she was a guest, she had to treat her with respect. This was a principle that Xiangyi's grandfather had taught her since she was a child. Hence, she was also polite to Qin Wanyan. Little did she know that this gave Qin Wanyan the illusion that Xiangyi was a pushover and didn't hold it against her. She affectionately reached out to hold Xiangyi's arm, but the girl quietly avoided her with a sidestep. Qin Wanyan pretended to stroke her hair to hide her embarrassment. Blinking her exquisite eye makeup, she asked, Wow, Sister E, you even have a wine cellar at home. I'm so envious. When I was young, my family was poor and lived in the village. I also had a cellar, but it was used to store sweet potatoes. Qin Wanyan's words aroused the sympathy of many people. They were both goddesses? However, their lives were like the difference between the clouds in the sky and the mud on the ground. Qin Wanyan is quite pitiful. She climbed from the bottom to where she is now, unlike Xiangyi, who was born fair, rich, and beautiful. Haha, Xiangyi is so extravagant. Other people's cellars are used to make a living, but hers is used for pleasure. Comparisons are odious. You're already so rich, what's wrong with doing some charity? No wonder people say that rich people are stingy and stingy. The bullet screen was full of scolding. It was as if Xiangyi going to get some wine was a heinous crime. Qin Wanyan led the way. By the time they reached the wine cellar, their mouths were already dry. The little system reminded her several times that the more she spoke, the more mistakes she would make. However, Qin Wanyan always retorted back in annoyance. What kind of stupid system was this? She was the host, so it should listen to her. Xiangyi's attitude towards her was indifferent from the beginning to the end. She gave Tianji 2 jars of peach wine and politely asked Qin Wanyan if she wanted the wine she brewed. Qin Wanyan didn't like the wine she brewed herself. She was afraid that the bacteria in it would cause food poisoning. Her eyes darted around and landed on the red wine rack not far away. She pointed to a bottle of red wine that she couldn't understand. Sister E, can I have this? Xiangyi, sorry, the wine over there is my brother's collection. I can't make the decision for them. This is the wine I brewed myself. You can choose whatever you want. Although the Xiang siblings were close, they were very principled. Even if it was Xiangyi's childhood toy, without her permission, the brothers would never give it to other children. Qin Wanyan pretended to be surprised and covered her mouth. Aren't you very close to your family? Sorry, I was too talkative. It's okay, Sister E, I don't want it. Chapter 498. Her words seemed considerate, but she was actually trying to drive a wedge between them. When the netizens heard this, they immediately felt that Xiangyi's relationship with her brothers wasn't that good after all. Otherwise, why wouldn't they give her a bottle of wine? Unfortunately, Qin Wanyan had underestimated how protective the Xiang family was. Xiangyi frowned. First of all, I don't think this has anything to do with the relationship between family members. Secondly, a good relationship doesn't mean I can do whatever I want with the items. Perhaps the things I find useless are precious and beautiful to my brothers. Qin Wanyan choked. The comments from the Spicy Tutu fans defending Xiangyi immediately flooded the screen. I'm praising Xiangyi. Qin Wanyan, what's the matter? Have you forgotten how you betrayed Sister E? Sister E is giving you face, but we won't. Go ahead and play your Swona *smile 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 *. My mom gave my favorite hairpin to my cousin. I was so angry, so angry. I cried and she said I was stingy. I really want to have a family like Xiangyi. Asterisk sob asterisk. Some people were bored enough to take a screenshot of the bottle of red wine and immediately jumped up from the sofa. F asterisk CK, that bottle of red wine Qin Wanyan once cost 6 figures. How can she be so shameless as to ask for it? For a moment, everyone's impression of Qin Wanyan was extremely poor. Besides, Xiangyi had already said she was going to give her the wine she brewed herself. She should just take whatever she was given. It was basic etiquette to give gifts when visiting others, but not only did she not give anything, she even took the initiative to ask for something. That was a bit inappropriate, wasn't it? Qin Wanyan didn't expect that the good impression she had gained by playing the Suona would disappear because of a few words. It was true that the more one spoke, the more mistakes one would make. However, Qin Wanyan didn't seem to notice and pretended to be magnanimous. Sistery, you have a point. By the way, my friend recommended the Spring Flower Foundation to me. I think it's quite reliable. Why don't we donate some money together? Xiangyi, sorry, not interested. Qin Wanyan, Sistery, I thought you were so kind that you'd be willing to donate money to charity? Xiangyi looked at Qin Wanyan in confusion. Why did she keep saying such strange things? Qin Wanyan was still adding scenes for herself. Maybe I'm too saintly. I can't read this kind of news at all. Every time I see it, I want to help others. Xiangyi found a basket and put 2 small jars of wine in it. She carried it with one hand and said, "It's okay. Kindness is when you feel pity for a person and want to help him. A saint is when you feel pity for a person and want to help the whole world." Qin Wanyan was secretly delighted. This idiot Xiangyi actually praised her for being kind? How brainless. The essence of charity, I think. Xiangyi explained her own understanding. I don't have the right to ask others to do something, but I can decide what I want to do. Immediately, netizens ridiculed, but you didn't do anything. Seeing this, Madame Tsen quickly got someone to cut Xiangyi's words out of context and posted them on the internet. Of course, she didn't forget to include the Spring Flower Foundation and Madame Tsen's charity. #Xiangyi says helping others is saintly. #Xiangyi doesn't have charity and instead doubts Madame Tsen. Madame Tsen thought that this was going to be one of the top searches. However, she didn't expect that the spot she just bought would be pushed down again. Chapter 499. The trending topic was a news video posted by the Finance Channel's official Weibo account. In the past 2 years, the development of our national enterprises in Country A has been hindered repeatedly, especially the recent ban on the products of tomorrow's light technology, which has attracted widespread attention from all walks of life. The company's smart AI voice wearable product has triggered a technological revolution in the field, but it has been banned in Country A for no reason. The reporter stood in front of a magnificent building that looked like a court. In order to defend the legitimate rights and interests of our national enterprises, Tomorrow's Light has hired an excellent team of lawyers with Lawyer Xiang from Lin Chen Law Firm as the core. Today is the day of the trial and it has been more than 6 hours since the start of the trial. I see Lawyer Xiang. A large group of reporters swarmed over, not only from the local media but also from foreign media. Sanction stood in the crowd. Even if he wasn't in the center, he was still the most eye-catching one. Even after a long trial, the man was still elegant and didn't show a trace of fatigue. His tailored dark suit outlined his broad shoulders and long legs. His tie was meticulously tied and his hair was combed back, making him look like an elite. He lowered his eyes and adjusted his cuffs. The person beside him seemed to be saying something to him as he listened attentively with a frown. It was as if the ice on the cedar trees in the distant mountains were being melted by the sun. In the blink of an eye, the reporters had already squeezed in front of the lawyer team. Countless microphones and cameras were aimed at Sanction. Lawyer Xiang, what's the result? Lawyer Xiang, how are you feeling now? Lawyer Xiang, do you have anything to say? Sanction looked up. His face was chiseled as if it was carefully carved by God. We won, he said casually. The crowd cheered. Some people were so excited that they threw their hats and jackets into the air. The reporter from the Finance Channel couldn't control his emotions and shouted in a choked voice, "We won the trial. The national enterprises won. China's technology industry won." The video paused at the scene where Sanction's thin lips curled up slightly. At the most exciting moment, he smiled incomparably calmly. It was truly stunning, gentle, and inexplicably touching. The comments section was already in a mess. We'll get beaten if we fall behind. But we've become stronger now. The legal team has worked hard. I heard that lawyer Xiang has put in a lot of effort for this case. He's amazing, really. Sob, sob, sob. I'm looking at Mr. Xiang's smile. I'm crying like a dog in front of the screen. He's withstanding so much pressure and yet he's still so calm. Mr. Xiang, Mr. Riseby. Needless to say, this Weibo post instantly became a trending topic. It completely suppressed the trending topic that Madame Tsen had bought. Madame Tsen was on the verge of breaking down. She called them. What are you doing? Why did my ranking drop again? The staff member was also very helpless. This is a big event. Such a sensational event has aroused everyone's passion. The real-time popularity is not something we can control. Madame Tsen took a step back and said tiredly, then guarantee me a spot in the top 5. This time there can't be any problems. After all, Qin Wanyan was only participating in 2 Under One Roof for one day. After tomorrow, how could she have such a good opportunity to promote the Spring Flower Fund? Before he could finish his sentence, the staff member said, I'm afraid I can't guarantee that because there's a new trending topic. Madame Tsen was confused. Chapter 500. She opened Weibo and as expected, the 4th trending topic was occupied by a term. Hashtag 2 Under One Roof went viral abroad. Hashtag Miss Tsen was speechless. What the hell is this? She clicked on the term and found that the details were that the overseas version of 2 Under One Roof had been released at midnight. So far, it had dominated all major foreign video websites and social media platforms. The total number of views had already exceeded more than 1 billion. In recent days, variety shows in various countries had developed greatly, and most of them were imported from overseas. Although there were also popular local variety shows, they didn't have much international influence. This time, 2 Under One Roof had achieved the opposite. For the first time, a Chinese variety show had a huge international influence. There were all sorts of comments below. Is this real data? Damn, this little lousy is awesome. It's inconvenient to watch live broadcasts overseas because the internet speed is too slow. I've been watching the edited version, but I didn't expect there to be an official version. Hurry up and support it. I've translated a few of the most liked comments on foreign video websites. Everyone have a taste. Mysterious cooking techniques from the East. This little fairy has satisfied all my imaginations of Chinese cuisine. So this is the difference between land civilization and ocean civilization. I'm very envious of such a beautiful rural life. God, please let me experience it once in my lifetime. All the major variety shows sent their blessings to 2 Under One Roof. Even the official Weibo account of Muyao Satellite TV also posted a Weibo post that read, "May Chinese variety shows get better and better." No matter how fierce the competition was in the country, they had always been united against a common enemy. 2 Under One Roof was fighting for the glory of Chinese variety shows. How could they drag them down at such a critical time? Of course, they would still have to compete and fight with each other later on. However, for a short period of time, the major variety shows reached a rare consensus. The netizens also felt honored and felt that they had a great time surfing the waves today. The melons were big and sweet and they were all filling. The popularity of the Spring Flower Fund dropped again and again, temporarily stopping at 5th place. Miss Tsen thought that she should be able to barely hold on to that position, but when she refreshed the page she found that the number of terms related to the Spring Flower Fund had dropped again. Miss Tsen was speechless. She watched helplessly as the top trending topic was dropped. That's right, dropped. Madame Tsen went to ask around and found out that this position was specially reserved for major scientific discoveries or national news. As long as the conditions were met, they would unconditionally descend. No matter how much money was spent, it was impossible to suppress this trending topic. In other words, at this moment, the number 1 trending topic represented the official will. Hashtag Xiang Li is nominated for the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Hashtag Nanxing Daily V. Our country's Dr. Xiang Li discovered a new ingredient in the medicine used to treat cancer, sea primrose. For detailed research results, you can refer to the latest issue of The Lancet. Dr. Xiang had been nominated for the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Like, forward and congratulate Dr. Xiang. Once this Weibo post was posted, Weibo went into an uproar. The Nobel Prize. Someone questioned whether it was fake or not and was immediately rebuked. Are you blind? It's been officially certified. I just went to check the thesis. It's at a level that I, a medical noob, will never be able to write in my entire life. I humbly look up to the big shots. Hey, did you notice that the trending searches on Weibo today are all dominated by Xiangyi and Xiangyi's brothers? Chapter 501. Everyone seemed to have woken up from a dream. It wasn't obvious that Logic was on the hot search list, but Hades was the one who made it public. As for Sangchen, he almost never accepted interviews, but this time he accepted it for the first time. As for Xiang Li, the nomination for the Nobel Prize in Medicine was a secret. Unless the nominee was willing to reveal it. Could it be that he casually revealed the news of his nomination just to cover for his sister and suppress the other hot search lists? This conjecture was too unimaginable, but it was infinitely closer to reality. There was a lot of discussion on the internet. Among the loving family, a childish competition had begun. Sanbao, you smart people. You're all learning from me. Sibao, isn't it normal to be on the hot search list after winning a competition? Sanbao, don't think I don't know that you deliberately showed off your abs to the camera. Sibao, unexpected. Bao, smart people? Smile, Sanbao, you are. Debao, colon? Seeing his brother's question mark, Xiang Qi trembled in front of the screen and frantically clicked on the delete option. Then he received a notification. This message cannot be deleted. Heaven wants me to die, Xiang Qi wailed. He felt that he would definitely be beaten up the next time he saw his brother. Xiangyi returned to the living room with the wine. Shi Sui handed her her phone. Your phone keeps ringing. Did someone have something urgent to tell her? Xiangyi took it and realized that the group chat was vibrating. Her third brother was sending all kinds of kneeling and crying emojis. The corners of her lips curled up as she sent a cute picture. Xiaobao, your little cutie suddenly appeared. JPG in an instant. The brothers in the group all appeared. Sibao, sister, I won the competition and even won the MVP award. I'll give you the trophy when we get back. Sanbao, sister. I made you a new dress and leather shoes. There are also lace socks. Bao, little rabbit, how's your hand? Debao, rest well. As if he felt that he did not care enough about his sister, Sangchen furrowed his brows at the celebration party. He typed seriously as if he was dealing with a complicated case. Debao, Tutu, drink more hot water. Looking at her brother's concern for her, Xiangyi felt warm in her heart. She shared her recent daily life with her brothers and even sent a few photos to prove that she was in good health and in a good mood. She posted 5 photos and every man in front of the screen without exception began to save his sister's photo. However, as time passed, the 4 of them realized that something was wrong. Sibao, why are they all photos with brother Shi? Sanbao, I'm so angry. How can a man like him take a photo with my sister? Bao, smiley to Bao, ha. Seeing her brother's replies, Xiangyi quivered and came to her senses. However, she could not be blamed. Recently, the photos on her phone were all photos with Shi Sui. She rarely took any photos. Most of them were taken by Shi Sui or by the staff. She had no choice. Her boyfriend loved to take photos, so she could only spoil him. Little did she know that a certain best actor had long planned this. Xiangyi looked at her fingers guiltily. After hesitating for a few seconds, she made a bold move. System notification. Xiaobao has invited Shi Sui to join the group chat. Debao? Bao? Sanbao? Sibao? The next second, Xiaobao, let me introduce to everyone, this is my boyfriend Shi Sui Rose. Chapter 502. The loving family was in an uproar. Sangchen and Xiang Li were still able to keep their cool, but Xiang Yu and Xiang Feng had already gone crazy. One was an esports guru while the other was a sewing guru. The 2 of them were so fast that they spammed 99+ messages within minutes. If it weren't for Shi Sui's message, the 2 of them would have spammed 999+ messages. Shi Sui, hello brothers. The wavy lines successfully made the brothers grit their teeth. In Xiangyi's eyes, the girl rested her chin on her hand, thinking that her boyfriend was so cute. Even his message was so soft and cute. She shook her little finger and typed a message seriously. Xiaobao, Shi Sui is the man I like and my brothers are my most important family. To me we are a loving family. Shake hands, loving family? Loving family my ass. The expressions of the brothers in front of the screen were getting worse and worse. On the balcony, Xiangyi was resting there. The program team had set up a safe zone. If she was tired from the live broadcast, she could go back to her room and rest for a while. Shi Sui held the railing with both hands and flipped over easily. He sat down on the rattan chair next to Xiangyi and asked in a low voice, why did you suddenly give me a status? Xiangyi stared at him suspiciously. Boyfriend, why do I feel that you're so skilled at flipping over the balcony? Shi Sui's expression didn't change. I've acted in similar scenes before. After a few takes, I know how to flip over. Is that so? Xiangyi blinked and asked a little embarrassedly, do you not want to make it public? I just feel that it's not good to hide it from my brothers. I'll listen to Sister E. Shui lowered his eyes. Sister E can do whatever she wants to me. Xiangyi's ears turned red. Then aren't you afraid that I'll do something bad to you? Shui looked up at her and smiled softly. Sister E, what bad things do you want to do? Can I spoil it? Xiangyi's ears turned even redder. She waved her hand and said, I was just talking nonsense. Alas, she couldn't lead Shui astray. The girl looked down at her phone and found that there were a few new messages in the group. Debao. Tutu, I've booked an early morning flight back to China. Air Bao. Little Rabbit, I'll look for you after I'm done with the Nobel Prize. Sanbao. Wait until I finish sewing the last dress for my sister. Shui, I'll kill you. Sibao. Sister, wait for me to bring the trophy to you. By the way, how was the effect of smashing people with the trophy? Xiangyi. Her brothers didn't seem to like Shui. Why was that? Shui was so nice. The girl blamed herself and said, I'm sorry, if I had known, I wouldn't have pulled you into the group. Shui held her hand and gently pinched her fingertips. I'm very happy that Sister E brought me to meet her family. I feel like I have a few more family members. Thinking about how the Shui family's family ties were thin and how Shui had been alone since he was young without his parents by his side, Xiangyi suddenly felt extremely sad. Her slender fingers passed through the man's slender fingertips and firmly interlocked with his. This is just an online meeting. Next time I'll bring you to meet them in real life. The girl promised firmly. I'll definitely protect you well. Shui was slightly stunned. His dark eyes immediately lit up with a smile. Sister E, you're so nice. Xiangyi, you're nice too. Shui chuckled. Are we mutually flattering each other? The girl shook her head. It's only right to praise your boyfriend. Bang. His heart felt like it had been targeted by a sniper. Shui understood that he had nowhere to run. He had never wanted to run away. Chapter 503. The production team distributed a vegetable collection mission card. Tianji was particularly interested in planting vegetables and took his 2 disciples to the vegetable garden for a stroll. Ling Ye's body was weak, and he was already panting heavily after walking a short distance. You'd better listen to the doctor and exercise more. Tianji sounded stern, but he was actually feeling sorry for him and quickly handed him a tissue. Thank you, master. Ling Yi had never been willing to accept the kindness of others. No matter what, he would have to leave sooner or later. However, perhaps because of Xiangyi's influence, he suddenly felt that this old man was quite pleasing to the eye. He chatted with the old man about planting vegetables while picking vegetables from the basket on his back. Qin Wanyin found them to be country bumpkins and was unwilling to join them. She stood under the shade of a tree at the side, worried that the vegetable garden would dirty her expensive white shoes. She kept spraying sunscreen spray, for fear that the ultraviolet rays would make her tan. The more refined she was, the more the audience disliked her. Qin Wanyin, can you be more professional? You're filming a show, yet you're afraid of the sun and the dirt. Even Ling Yi is picking tomatoes, but Qin Wanyin isn't doing anything, is she? Qin Wanyin is so lazy. Sister Yi's hand is fractured and she could only carry the wine with one hand. Qin Wanyin didn't help at all. Even though the system reminded Qin Wanyin to get to work, Qin Wanyin still refused to move. Please, I'm the chosen one. Who would want to do such dirty and tiring work? Isn't it enough to be beautiful? Why do I have to be diligent? I don't want to be as silly as Xiangyi, who's looking for work when there's nothing to do. Besides, Mistson had promised to provide her with resources. What else did she have to worry about? Qin Wanyin eagerly opened her chat with Mistson, only to realize that she didn't reply to her message at all. What's going on? Didn't she promise to take me to the socialites' tea party? Qin Wanyin panicked and hurriedly opened Weibo, only to be dumbfounded. What's going on with this trending topic? Not only were the top 5 trending topics dominated, but there were also other trending topics that almost filled the top 20 trending topics. What does it mean to be on the list? The vegetable picking mission was completed. Qin Wanyin followed Tianji and Ling Yi in a daze. When Tianji saw that Ling Yi was struggling, he suggested, Wanyin, help Ling Yi share some of the burden. Ling Yi declined, there's no need for that, master. I still have the strength to do this. Qin Wanyin said, then I won't stand on ceremony with you. Netizens? Such a cute and pitiful little angel brother. You must be made of iron and blind to say such a thing, right? Coincidentally, they bumped into Shui and Xiangyi on their way to Little Rabbit Farm. The two of them were driving a bumper car that no one knew where they got from. Shi Sui, who always wore high-end clothes and had an extraordinary bearing, was sitting in the bumper car with her long legs bent. She was slowly following behind Xiangyi's bumper car. He never seemed to mind doing childish things with Xiangyi. Xiangyi frowned when she saw Ling Yi panting. She jumped out of the car and walked over to Ling Yi. "Give me the basket." Ling Yi subconsciously said, "I'm a man, whoosh." Xiangyi didn't give him a chance to refuse. She easily picked up the basket with one hand and weighed it lightly. "Little kid, don't carry such heavy things. You won't grow tall." She tossed the keys to Ling Yi. "Drive it back." Ling Yi gulped. F***ck. It's over. He was really done for. Chapter 504. At the beginning, Ling Yi still wanted to play some tricks on Xiangyi, but now he had completely restrained himself. Subconsciously, he felt that those filthy things shouldn't appear in front of Xiangyi. Qin Wanyan's voice sounded at an untimely moment. "Xiangyi, why are you so nice to Ling Yi?" For a moment, Tianji's expression was extremely sullen. No matter how much he admired Qin Wanyan's talent in playing the Suona, he couldn't tolerate her low EQ. Shi Sui stepped on the brakes of the bumper car and tapped the steering wheel lazily. His deep peach blossom eyes narrowed slightly behind his glasses as he stared at the girl. Xiangyi said in a puzzled tone, "Isn't it natural for adults to take care of children? Besides, he's a child who's visiting my house." Qin Wanyan looked at Ling Yi, who was 180 centimeters tall, and sneered. "Him? He's a child?" "Minors are all children," Xiangyi said. Ling Yi's heart suddenly warmed. Others might not understand Xiangyi's logic, but Shi Sui did. Before she became an adult, she had always been treated like a child by her family. Growing up in an environment where she was doted on, she wouldn't hesitate to be nice to others. Because in her world it was a matter of course. In the live stream, some netizens were getting restless. "I'll stand for 1 second, I'll stand for 1 second. Ling Yi is so obedient and nurturing in front of Sister Yi. I'm going to knock it out. Gentle Sister X sickly brother, I love the redemption and healing type awe." Some netizens also suddenly realized something. "I suddenly understand why Sister E is so nice to the puppy. It turns out that she treats him like a child." After comparing the EQ of Xiangyi and Qin Wanyan, Tianji let out a long sigh. Well, no one is perfect. After all, Qin Wanyan was his little disciple. If she didn't understand, he could teach her slowly in the future. However, at this moment, Tianji suddenly had a trace of doubt in his heart. Why had he been so impulsive as to accept Qin Wanyan as his disciple? It wasn't that he hadn't seen any good seedlings in the past few years. However, after Qin Wanyan played her Suona that day, he seemed to have been bewitched. He made the decision on the spot and even broke his own rule of not accepting any disciples. How strange. Ling Yi sat on the bumper car and was somewhat eager to give it a try. However, when he saw the basket in the girl's hand, he hesitated. "Sister, can you carry something so heavy?" Xiangyi said, "I didn't take it." Qin Wanyan exclaimed, "Xiangyi, I don't mean to criticize you, but how could you let Shirindi do such a thing?" Before she could finish her pretentious words, she saw Xiangyi take out her phone and fiddle with it. Soon, a cute robot drove out from a nearby room, dragging a small cart behind it. Xiangyi put the basket on it. The robot sang nursery rhymes and pulled the basket full of vegetables to the designated destination. Humans are the most amazing creatures on Earth. They retain their fire seeds and eat cooked food. They have evolved intelligence and learn to make and use tools. However, the most incredible thing is that they often choose not to use them. After Xiangyi finished speaking, she looked at Qin Wanyan and imitated Tianji's words. "I'm neither harsh nor malicious. I'm not hostile. I'm just expressing my literal meaning. I'm not sarcastic or hinting at anything. The above expression represents my personal opinion. I don't intend to cause a debate or encroach on public resources. Please forgive me for my inappropriate language." Qin Wanyan's face instantly turned the color of pig liver. What does Xiangyi mean? Is she mocking me for being brainless? Chapter 505. Hearing Xiangyi's words, the spicy tutu fans in the live stream were overjoyed. "Ha, Sister E is indeed you, you're so good at retorting. When it comes to the importance of studying, Sister E is so impressive, unlike me who can say F***C everywhere." That's right, Qin Wanyan can totally get a tricycle or something to help her out. She's not doing any work, yet she's still mocking her. Is she here to be a guest or to be an ancestor? Qin Wanyan pondered for a long time and finally came up with a rebuttal. However, Xiangyi didn't even look at her and simply walked towards Shi Sui's bumper car. She noticed that Shi Sui was driving a two-person bumper car. She didn't know if it was a coincidence or a necessity. "Handsome boy, can I hitch a ride?" The girl seemed calm and composed, but in fact, she was so shy that her fingertips were curled up. Shui smiled and said, "Your Highness, please." Xiangyi's eyes curved into crescents as she lifted her skirt and bowed before getting into the bumper car. The interaction between the two was so natural and sweet that the netizens in the livestream who were still in favor of the evil couple just a moment ago had vividly demonstrated what it meant to be a traitor. F***CK. I'm dead. A bumper car is still a car, sisters. Boo-hoo, I'm so envious of this kind of interaction. Shui's sister Yi's way of getting along is so comfortable. Shui started the car and placed his well-defined hands on the cartoon-like steering wheel. His fair and slender body was beautiful, and every screenshot was a benefit of his handheld control. "Sister," Lingyi murmured. Xiangyi looked at him in confusion. The young man's skin was pale and only his lips were red. He was so thin that he looked like he could be blown away by a gust of wind. However, a blazing light flickered in his amber eyes. However, everything was well hidden by Lingyi. "Sister, come back soon, I'll be good and wait for you." The young man tilted his head and smiled. Behind him was a gorgeous sea of flowers, a fountain flowing and white pigeons flying in the air. It was as if an angel had descended to earth. It was like the cleanest and purest smile in the world. Many people were screaming in the bullet screen, "My dear Ruan, Grandma's brother is so cute." However, Xiangyi's response to Lingyi was an indifferent, "Oh." Lingyi, the young man's eyes drooped in desolation. His back was against the light, and his entire being sank into the shadows, making him appear even more lonely. Tianji sighed again. Why couldn't these two disciples of his let him be at ease? The four sufferings of life are greed, anger and infatuation, resentment and hatred, love and separation, and being unable to obtain. If this brat did not withdraw in time, he would suffer greatly. When Xiangyi saw the pitiful look on Lingyi's face, her cherry lips moved. She wanted to tell him that there were snacks in the living room, but Shui suddenly started the car and drove forward without looking back. The girl tilted her head. "You're speeding." Shui raises her eyebrows. "Are there any traffic laws here?" "Yes." Xiangyi pointed at herself and said seriously, "This is my home. I have the final say." Shui slowed down the car. Xiangyi praised, "That's a good boy. It's dangerous to drive too fast." When the untimely CP fans saw this scene, their hearts skipped a beat. Sister Yi wouldn't treat Shui as a child, would she? No. Wouldn't that become Shui's one-sided love? The next second, Shui chuckled softly and said leisurely, "Okay sister, Xiangyi!" She widened her doe eyes and looked at Shui in disbelief. The man's voice was tired and hoarse and it fell into her red ears. "Sister, I didn't know that you get shy so easily." Chapter 506. That last syllable was mellow and flirtatious, and it was even more magnetic after it was deliberately lowered. Xiangyi wasn't the only one who was stunned. The netizens watching the live stream went crazy. "This man is so darn sweet. I'm inhaling oxygen. Oh my god, Shurindi is so good at this. Damn it, I never thought that I would feel dizzy and my legs would turn to jelly just because he called me sister. This is worse than fake alcohol." Xiangyi pinched her palms. Her ears were already red, but she was still stubborn. How can you call me sister? You're clearly older than me." "Can't I call you sister just because I'm older than you?" the man asked matter-of-factly. His low chuckle was like an electric current that bloomed like little flowers. "Sister, do you think I'm old?" Xiangyi was speechless. She took a deep breath and repeated it several times before finally calming down. "I don't. You can call me whatever you want." The girl pretended to be calm and took out her cell phone. "I'll ask Lingyi and the rest what they want to eat tonight." She had forgotten that she had already blacklisted Lingyi. However, Shui had no idea that she had blacklisted him. He squinted his peach blossom eyes and turned the steering wheel. His low and hoarse voice sounded a little aggrieved. "Am I not good enough? Why don't you ask me what I want to eat, sister?" Xiangyi's hand trembled and she almost dropped her cell phone. She swallowed her saliva and said, "Don't call me sister." "Oh? But didn't you just say that I can call you whatever I want?" Xiangyi suddenly felt that she had dug a hole, and she had jumped into it without thinking about her own safety. The blush spread from her ears to her milky white swan neck, standard square shoulders and thin back. Xiangyi put on the hood of her coat as if she was trying to deceive herself. Then what do you want to eat?" "I want to eat," Shui said lazily. Sister. The netizens watching the live stream were shocked. This is a magical couple. They're actually giving out love online. You want to eat, sister? What kind of words are these? After a while, Shui said slowly, let me think. Don't think. I'll eat, sister. Friendly reminder, Tutu's braised, spicy, and barbecued dishes are delicious. That's right, that's right. Eating in the study, eating on the windowsill, and eating in the kitchen is also delicious. For a moment, the bullet screen was filled with comments. The car was so fast that it was impossible to catch up with the car even when it was drifting around a bend. To Xiangyi, every time he called her sister, it was like a sniper had accurately hit her heart. Oh. The girl covered her face with her hands. She couldn't take it anymore. You take your time to think about it. I want to get out of the car and take a walk. You want to run away after getting in my car? Shui laughed. It's too late. Hearing this, the netizens expressed that today's sugar intake was, it's over the limit. The scene cut to the courtyard. Tianji was so tired that he gasped for breath. He reached for the cup but it was empty. Qin Wanyan pretended not to notice and continued to play with her phone. Tianji wanted to say something, but he didn't say anything in the end. Ling Yi, on the other hand, got up and poured a glass of water for Tianji. The bullet screen comments scolding Qin Wanyan flooded. Qin Wanyan's fans were indignant and brought up the topic of Xiangyi's charity fraud again. Unfortunately, no one fell for their tricks this time. Some spicy Tutu fans questioned. Even if Sister Yi didn't do charity, did your Qin Wanyan do charity? Qin Wanyan's fans were not confident. Our immortal Qin isn't a fair-skinned, rich and beautiful girl like Xiangyi. Spicy Tutu fans asked again. Then did you do charity? Smile, Qin Wanyan's fans. I'm just an ordinary person. The netizens were dumbfounded. Isn't this a little too much? Chapter 507. We're both humans, so why does Xiangyi have to do charity while Qin Wanyan has all kinds of excuses? The spicy Tutu fans quickly found a loophole in the other party's words and retaliated. You're attacking Sister Yi because Sister Yi doesn't do charity, but what have you done? Sister Yi didn't steal, rob, or break the law. Her whole family is made of elites who rely on their own hands to earn money. It's fine if she doesn't want to donate. I'm dying of laughter. You guys are really good at using double standards. Sister Yi is still so diligent even though she's injured. What about your Qin Wanyan? She doesn't even give her master a sip of water. How awesome. Qin Wanyan's fans gradually lost the upper hand. In the living room, Qin Wanyan anxiously waited for Mistsun's reply, but to no avail. Instead, as soon as she opened Weibo, she was flooded with negative comments about her. Qin Wanyan was dumbfounded. Why are all the netizens scolding me? When she saw the comments that said she had no EQ, was lazy, and that her fans were annoying, Qin Wanyan panicked. She had participated in Two Under One Roof, to gain more fans, not to lose them. Oh right, Xiangyi's donation fraud. Her eyes darted around, wanting to continue making a fuss about this matter. Hence, she pretended to slip, and liked the Spring Flower Foundation's Weibo post stating that Xiangyi didn't donate. However, at the same time, a user named Splendid Shanhua posted a long post on Weibo that went viral. Splendid Shanhua. Today I saw Sister Xiangyi getting scolded for a donation fraud. I went to watch the live stream and Sister Yi didn't say that she donated money. I don't know why it was misinterpreted. Sister Xiangyi is really a very nice person. The primary school in our mountain village was built by her with donations a few years ago. The school is very clean and beautiful. She's really a very considerate and warm person. Not only did she build the school, but she also provides 3 meals a day for free. Those who have never experienced hunger might not be able to understand how blissful it is to have a full meal for the first time. The school's washroom also provided free toilet paper and sanitary napkins for the girls to use. I'm really grateful. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have been able to use sanitary pads every month and could only use paper pads. I used to think that menstruation was a shameful and expensive thing. It's no exaggeration to say that it was Sister Xiangyi who gave me dignity. I want to say that she has really done a lot. She has done very well. He hoped that there would be more kindness, more gentleness, and more beauty in this world. Just like an elder sister. Not only was this Weibo post simple and touching, but there were also pictures attached. The buildings in the photo, although not as luxurious as the city, were clean and beautiful. In the washroom there were female products. Although they were just ordinary brands, they were enough to solve some of the girls' problems. At first, it was Spicy Tutu fans who reposted, commented, and liked the post. But as it gained popularity, More and more people were surprised to find out that Xiangyi had not faked the donation. Instead, she had really done charity. With the first person who bravely spoke out, more and more people who had been helped by Xiangyi came forward. In the end, the netizens did an incomplete count and found that Xiangyi and the Xiang family had donated to dozens of primary schools, orphanages, and public health organizations. After conversion, the amount spent on charity each year was an astronomical figure. However, the Xiang family had never publicized it. The tables had turned. The entire internet was in an uproar. Chapter 508. Xiangyi and the Xiang family are actually doing so much charity in secret. The netizens continued to gossip and realized that the charity that the Xiang family was involved in was very clear about the details of the funds, and they wouldn't just ignore it. For example, the school's 3 free meals, and even the price of the potatoes, chili, and vegetables for each meal would be publicly announced. It was clear at a glance. It was pure and innocent. Seeing this, the netizens had mixed feelings. It was fine to do charity if one had the money or the time. However, anyone could tell that he was definitely not putting on a show. They were really doing it with their hearts. The netizens' comments gradually became more objective. To be honest, Xiangyi and the Xiang family are quite nice. We have to wait for the news now, maybe there will be a twist. The free meals and free female products really deserve a like. They're so kind. The netizens followed the clues and found another strange thing. The Spring Flower Foundation had clearly received so many donations, but why didn't they disclose the whereabouts of the funds? Someone questioned the Spring Flower Foundation's Weibo account, but the comment was instantly deleted. The more it was deleted, the greater the backlash. More and more people questioned it, and some even threatened to report it to the relevant departments. Only then did Mistson get anxious and get someone to rush out a list and make it public. However, everyone was confused when they saw it. Sanitary pads, 10 packs per person, 500 yuan. Toilet paper, 10 packs per person, 200 yuan. The netizens were speechless. 50 yuan for a pack of sanitary pads? 20 yuan for a pack of toilet paper? This is too much charity, right? To be honest, instead of donating imported and expensive female products to these girls, it's better to provide cheap female products for free like the school that Xiangyi built. That can help more people. Am I the only one who thinks that there's something wrong with the list? This list is obviously a lie. When I did an asset evaluation for the company before, I saw a company's financial statement that showed that each employee used up a few thousand yuan of toilet paper every month on average. Actually, the purchasing department was just greedy. Without comparison, there would be no harm. The Spring Flower Foundation originally had a good reputation, but it was precisely because it rode on Xiangyi's popularity that people found out about the charity that Xiangyi was doing. Comparing the two, the Spring Flower Foundation suddenly seemed less formal and professional. There were also public relations companies in the industry that revealed that the annual marketing expenses of the Spring Flower Fund were as high as tens of millions. The netizens, especially those who had donated money to the Spring Flower Foundation, were furious. We are donating money for you to do charity, not for you to use it for marketing purposes. Madame Tsen also did not escape the fate of being exposed. With the help of the resourceful netizens, her dark history of being a mistress and engaging in pyramid schemes was all exposed. Only now did everyone realize that the Spring Flower Foundation and Qin Wanyan's actions were to trample on Xiangyi. Damn it. They were actually being used as cannon fodder. Everyone worked together. First, they reported the Spring Flower Foundation for breaking the law. Then they rushed to Qin Wanyan's Weibo. Qin Wanyan's fans, on the other hand, were slapped in the face as hard as they had been cursing at the beginning. She didn't have many fans left. After this incident, even the most loyal fans woke up and left on a large scale. When Qin Wanyan saw this, her expression was one of shock and fear. She hurriedly sent another message to Madame Tsen, only to find that she had been blacklisted by Madame Tsen. Qin Wanyan? Chapter 509. An unprecedented sense of defeat engulfed him. Qin Wanyan couldn't understand. She was clearly the chosen one. She was chosen to transmigrate and was about to achieve a perfect life. Why did things turn out this way? It's Xiangyi, it's all Xiangyi's fault. Why does she have to do so much charity work? If she didn't do it, I wouldn't be implicated. Qin Wanyan's resentment was all transferred to Xiangyi. On the other side, Madame Tsen wasn't having a good time either. She had already received many calls from socialites and madams, all of whom were asking her about the Spring Flower Foundation. After a round of Tai Chi, Madame Tsen was exhausted. Her phone rang again. She picked it up to see that it was from her assistant. Madame Tsen answered impatiently, "What's the matter? Why must you bother me at this time?" Her assistant trembled and said, "Madam Tsin, bad news, something has happened." New gossip broke out on Weibo. The relevant department announced on Weibo that they had begun investigating the Spring Flower Foundation's illegal fundraising case. The netizens were in an uproar. "Oh my, it seems like there's really something wrong with the Spring Flower Foundation. Otherwise they wouldn't have used the word case. This is tantamount to committing a crime." The Spring Flower Foundation, which had made such a big splash, probably didn't expect such a fate to befall them. Some netizens sighed and quoted a line from a play, "Watching him build a vermilion tower, watching him entertain guests, watching him collapse." Madam Tsin's social media app suddenly deleted her Weibo. It was as if she had disappeared from the internet. The netizens guessed that she was probably afraid that the Weibo posts where she flaunted her wealth would be found. There were laws that forbade one from doing so. If one violated the law, one should never take any chances. Little Rabbit Farm. Shi Sui parked the two-person bumper car and Xiangyi jumped down lightly. The man behind her reminded her helplessly, "Be careful." "Got it." The general manager of Little Rabbit Farm, Wang Xuanli, came to welcome her. "Missy, you're here. Do you want to try the new products?" It was precisely because Xiangyi established Little Rabbit Farm that many people's employment problems were solved. Furthermore, after learning the skills, they could leave and start their own businesses. Wang Xuanli was truly grateful to Xiangyi from the bottom of his heart. "Okay." Xiangyi took 2 steps before she stopped and turned around as if she had thought of something. Wang Xuanli turned his head in confusion and asked, "What's wrong, Missy?" "Wait, Shi Sui." Wang Xuanli, "Why does it feel like Missy is still a student waiting to go to the bathroom with her best friend?" Shi Sui moved his long legs and walked towards Xiangyi with a smile. Even if Xiangyi didn't have to wait for him, he could still catch up to her quickly. But the feeling of someone waiting for him, it was really different. The Shi Sui sisters in front of the screen sensed that Shi Sui seemed to be more relaxed. He had always been polite to people, but he was very distant. However, in front of Xiangyi he was especially happy and at ease. Although he didn't want to admit it, but they had to admit, Shi Sui didn't like Xiangyi for nothing. Wang Xuanli brought the two of them to sit down beside an old sycamore tree. The tree crown was lush and there were stone tables and stools. The weather was light and breezy, making them feel relaxed. "This is the layout we made according to Miss Yi's recipe. There are a total of 3 flavors, onion oil noodles, meat sauce noodles and a special spicy sauce noodles." Wang Xuanli introduced them one by one. The netizens watching the live stream were excited. They're finally going to release a new product. Chapter 5:10. I love noodles so much they actually came up with 3 flavors at once. Buy it all. Must buy it all. To the people in front, wake up. Little Rabbit Farm's online store is all about snatching. It's not a dog's head that you can buy whenever you want. Amidst everyone's anticipation, Wang Xuanli tore open the packaging of the noodles. The bag adhered to Little Rabbit Farm's usual design, simple and elegant, with a cute rabbit logo printed on it. After opening it, there was a bag of noodles and a bag of condiments inside. The noodles were semi-finished products, so the noodles had to be cooked first. Wang Xuanli had prepared 3 small electric cookers. "Missy, shall I cook?" Shi Sui naturally took the noodles and said, "I'll do it." No, you're a superstar, how can you do such a thing?" Wang Xuanli was a little nervous, but when he saw Xiangyi smiling at Shi Sui, he suddenly understood. Wow, Miss Yi's gaze is so similar to the way she looks at spicy rabbit heads. Miss Yi is lusting after this man's body. But this superstar is really good looking. Her nose is a nose, her eyes are eyes, and her legs are long. A simple and honest smile gradually appeared on Wang Xuanli's face. The noodles were soon cooked. Shi Sui scooped the noodles into a bowl and added the condiments accordingly. The pale yellow buckwheat noodles were thin and tender, and after mixing the condiments well, they appeared bright and smooth. "Try it." Shi Sui handed a pair of chopsticks to Xiangyi with a gentle gaze. Xiangyi tasted the onion oil noodles first. The first thing that entered her nose was the rich aroma of onion, but it didn't seem too oily. She nodded and commented, "The noodles are smooth, the onion oil is fragrant, and the saltiness and sweetness are just right." The noodles in the 3 bags were all the same, the only difference was the condiments. Next was the meat sauce noodles. The meat sauce wasn't too finely chopped, which gave it a meaty texture. The pork used was fat and lean, which made it fragrant enough. The sauce is on the sweet side, those who like sweet things should like this. After Xiangyi commented, she asked Wang Xuanli to mail a box of noodles to her uncle, Xiang Feng. Last was the spicy sauce noodles. The chili was a variety grown in Little Rabbit Farm. It was very spicy, but it was more fragrant than normal chili. When the red hot sauce was sprinkled on it, it made people salivate. Xiangyi took a bite and her eyes lit up. She wanted to eat more, but Shui took away the small bowl in front of her. Your hand hasn't recovered yet, so you shouldn't eat heavy food. Just one more bite, just one more bite. Be a good girl, Sister Yi, Shui said with a teasing smile. Or do you want me to continue calling you sister? Xiangyi, I'm not eating any more. I can resist the temptation of delicious food, but I can't resist the temptation of a boyfriend. The couple's fans were very satisfied as they ate their candies. The other netizens were already drooling. Sister Yi's standards are too high, right? I can smell the fragrance even through the screen. Ah, it's sugar-free buckwheat noodles. I must have such healthy food. Don't you guys feel like watching Sister Yi eat makes you feel especially appetizing? I've already started watching it as a mukbang. The girl didn't eat the noodles slowly, but because of her small face, her cheeks would puff up like a little hamster that had stolen food. Moreover, she was very serious about everything she ate. She gave people the feeling that everything she ate was delicious. After she announced that the product had passed the test, Wang Xuanli said, "Then I'll get someone to put it up for sale in the online store." Okay, done. Why is it suddenly taken off the shelves? Chapter 511. Huh. Xiangyi was puzzled. Is there a problem with the internet? Wang Xuanli refreshed the page, but it still showed that the product had been taken off the shelves. He scratched his head, his tanned face full of confusion. I'll get someone to take a look. Wang Xuanli was a professional when it came to growing vegetables, but he wasn't familiar with the business process of an online store. Could it be that the keywords violated the rules, so it was taken off the shelves by the officials? Xiangyi guessed. In the live stream, the fans were yelling, "Sister Yi, wake up. It's sold out. How many years have you guys been single? Why is it gone as soon as I clicked on the page? I'm crying, it's sold out in 10 seconds. Even an internet celebrity store wouldn't sell out so quickly, right? Sister Yi is comparable to a live streamer." The technician quickly gave Wang Xuanli a reply. It's sold out? Wang Xuanli was dumbfounded. We prepared a lot of stock this time, there are thousands of servings. Little Rabbit Farm had all the necessary procedures, but in order to pursue quality products, the scale was not large. It was almost equivalent to the output of a small studio. A few thousand servings was really a lot. Besides, the mixed noodles this time weren't cheap either. There were 38 small servings and 58 large servings. Wang Xuanli thought that it would be a little difficult to sell. A foodie fan of Little Rabbit Farm complained in the live stream. Wang Xuanli, do you have a misunderstanding of the word, a lot? Who can eat a few thousand servings? Hurry up and produce. Do you have enough manpower in the factory? If not, I'll apply for a job right now. Xiangyi was also a little surprised by this figure. She didn't pay much attention to the online store and didn't care much about the income of the online store. Most of it was used for the Little Rabbit Farm Research Fund. It turns out that our family's products are selling quite well? Xiangyi exclaimed. The netizens were speechless. Is this the frustration of a rich woman? Can't she even manage her own business? Wang Xuanli, then I'll go arrange the production plan. Xiangyi, don't worry about the production, we must ensure the quality. After a pause, she tilted her head and asked Shui, what do you think? Wang Xuanli was stunned and subconsciously looked at Shui. This. Missy, don't tell me you're not only lusting after my body, but also my heart. Shui said gently, Sister Yi is right. I'll listen to Sister Yi. Okay. Xiangyi nodded. That's all for now. I'll go back and study the proportion of the chili oil formula. Wang Xuanli was overjoyed. Missy, your chili oil will definitely sell well. He had tasted the chili oil made by Xiangyi, and the taste was really amazing. If he put it into the porridge, he wouldn't even need to add any other ingredients. He would be able to drink the entire bowl of porridge with a mouthful of fragrance. The foodie fans were both excited and upset. What made him excited was that the products of Little Rabbit Farm would definitely be of high quality. The worst part was that they had money but couldn't spend it. How could they do business like this? As a result, the comments in the live stream became like this. Sister E, I have money. Please take my money. I have a friend who has cancer. I want to try Sister Yi's chili oil dog head while I'm still alive. F***ck, a certain second-hand platform is already reselling Little Rabbit Farm's noodles. The small portion has already risen to 200 yuan per bag. F***ck, it's so expensive, don't buy it. This is inflating the prices. To the person in front, I don't believe you. You must have secretly taken photos. Ahem, don't expose me even if you can see through it. The comments were harmonious and the hashtag 10 seconds off the shelves horrifying hashtag climbed to the bottom of the trending searches. Chapter 512. The operator behind online celebrity peeler accounts was the person who had once defamed Xiangyi to gain popularity. Ever since he discovered that marketing accounts could be monetized through traffic, he had applied for several accounts. At first, he didn't operate very well, and because he didn't know the rules, he was reported to have his account banned several times. Later on, he got the hang of it and slowly built up the account. He even signed a contract with a professional public relations company. The man in front of the screen was unshaven. His computer, tablet, and phone screens were all different. Two under one roof was his main focus. When he saw the trending topic of 10 seconds down, he began typing furiously. The vase fairy gave up her career as a celebrity and went to live stream to earn money? She's too lowly. Halfway through his typing, the man scratched his head in annoyance, thinking about how the public opinion on the internet had been trending in a positive direction recently. He tapped on the table anxiously, and when he saw a certain streamer on another screen who was trying his best to sell goods, he suddenly thought of a good idea. The man deleted all the words he had just typed and replaced them with new content. Online celebrity peeler accounts v. Sister Yi's live stream was taken down in 10 seconds. On the other hand, a certain top streamer, Yen Kai, has been getting worse and worse recently. If Sister Yi were to live stream, these live streamers would probably be starving. This account had a lot of fans to begin with, and with such provocative content, Yen Kai's fans were the first to rush to the battlefield. Are you crazy? Some time ago there was a discount on e-commerce, so sales were high. Now sales are slowly falling. This is a normal market trend, okay? Take away our Kai. We can't compare to celebrities, but live streamers like Kai are the top streamers, arms akimbo. I'm laughing so hard. Kai is so lucky to have been trampled on by the A-list actress Xiangyi. Are you in such a hurry to earn money to go home and visit your mother's grave? As the top livestream streamer, Yen Kai had a steady stream of viewers every day and had a group of loyal fans. When they saw Yen Kai being trampled on, they subconsciously vented their resentment on Xiangyi. Other marketing accounts followed suit and used this as a starting point to successfully pit the relationship between Xiangyi and the live streamer against each other. Nowadays, the fans of streamers who sell goods can't be underestimated. Moreover, the fans buy things in the live broadcast room every day. In addition to selling goods, the streamer will also chat a little. After a long time, the relationship with the streamer is like a friend. Most people scoffed when they saw celebrities being defamed, thinking that it was just boring gossip. But seeing his friend being belittled, how could he bear it? Intolerable. All the major marketing accounts fell into a chaotic battle. Both sides clung to their own views and quarreled fiercely. Back in the living room, Li Jinyu suddenly cued Xiangyi. Sister Yi, someone is looking for you. She was puzzled. May I ask who you are? Li Jinyu coughed. Yen Kai, he's a streamer. He wants to get to know you. The fans of Two Under One Roof and Yen Kai basically didn't overlap. Whether it was from the perspective of interests or public opinion, Li Jinyu felt that it was better to speak openly. Yen Kai also started a live broadcast. Both parties connected their microphones and started a video call. Hello, Sister Yi. Hello, Shui. Hello, Teacher Tian. Yen Kai had a lively and cheerful personality, so he took the initiative to greet them. I'm Yen Kai, you can call me Kai. This scene provoked Yen Kai's fans who left angry comments. Kai, blink if you're threatened. Chapter 513. SOB Kai is so pitiful. Is he being forced to connect to the mic? So what if he's rich? Can he do whatever he wants just because he's rich? Why is he bullying us like this? The fans were prejudiced and thought that Yen Kai had been forced to connect to the mic, so they vented all their anger. Yen Kai's assistant was constantly paying attention to the comments, and he would also glance at the comments from time to time. Seeing that the bullet screen was filled with such angry comments, Yen Kai hurriedly explained with a smile, Sister Yi kidnapped me? Oh my god, is there such a good thing? I'm afraid that Sister Yi's family will go bankrupt. Yen Kai used to be a foodie livestream streamer, and unlike other live streamers who couldn't eat, he really had a huge appetite. His ability to eat was a favorite meme of his fans. With him adjusting the atmosphere, the fans calmed down a little. Li Jinyu was a little worried, afraid that Xiangyi wouldn't be able to handle Yen Kai's awkward silence, so he frantically gestured to Shui, telling him to get ready for an emergency. Unexpectedly, not only did Xiangyi manage to handle it, she even did it beautifully. Bankrupt my family? That might be a little difficult. Xiangyi counted for him seriously. I have dozens of little black pigs, more than 20 chickens, more than a dozen ducks and geese. The more serious she was, the cuter the contrast. The audience was tickled, and the comments in the two live streams were visibly harmonious. Yan Kaikai's assistant, Guangguan, was a lively girl. Hearing this, she said, "You can't move aside or else you'll be like a pig in a granary." Yan Kaikai pretended to be angry. "Guangguan, you can't be like this. Our friendship is coming to an end." Guangguan winked at him. When friendship comes to an end, can the sparks of love be ignited? Yan Kaikai suddenly blushed and stuttered, unable to speak. The two had worked together for a long time and were obviously in love with each other. However, Yan Kaikai was thin-skinned when it came to relationships, so the two didn't break the ice. Hence, Guangguan flirted with him on a daily basis, which made Yan Kaikai shy. Their interactions were particularly popular with the fans. Yan Kaikai and the others were mature streamers, and they quickly stabilized the situation. Xiangyi naturally chatted with them. Tianji even came over to tell a joke. Shi Sui stood aside and gazed at Xiangyi with a smile. This time it could be said that he had used facts to shatter the rumors. Xiangyi and Yan Kaikai were not on bad terms. The audience gradually relaxed. From time to time they would laugh in front of the screen. On the other side in the glass greenhouse, Qin Wanyan paced back and forth anxiously. When Lingyi came over, she threw a barrage of questions at him. "Lingyi, are you crazy? Do you know the consequences of not completing the mission?" "I know, Sister Wanyan." Lingyi lowered his head meekly like a stray cat on a rainy day. "Why are you angry? Did I do something wrong?" Under her drooping eyelashes she was laughing at herself. "I've always been a lunatic." Qin Wanyan said angrily, "Didn't you say that joining two under one roof would help my career? But look at what the netizens are saying about me on the internet." Lingyi said innocently, "Sister Wanyan, I didn't know about the Spring Flower Fund." Qin Wanyan choked. Her eyes darted around and she felt very guilty. Indeed, Mistson was not introduced to her by Lingyi. She was the one who contacted her, she said weakly. "So are you blaming me for messing things up? How could you do that?" Chapter 5:14. Lingyi covered his mouth with his finger and coughed a few times. "I'm sorry. I will do my best to help you. Sister, please calm down. It's not good for your health if you get angry." The more he accepted it, the more Qin Wanyan despised him. Qin Wanyan had a sense of superiority in front of Lingyi. She felt that Lingyi was like an object that existed for her. So what if she scolded him? If she couldn't complete her mission, then Lingyi would be trapped here for the rest of his life. Thinking of this, Qin Wanyan threatened, "Little brother, if I don't have a good life, then everyone can forget about it. So, can you be more sensible?" The young man nodded. "I will. I will definitely think of a way to make Sister Wanyan popular. But, sister, you..." He wanted to say something but stopped. Qin Wanyan thought she was smart. After giving him a slap, she quickly gave him a sweet date. She said softly, "Lingyi, if you have something to say, just say it. I treat you like my own little brother." Lingyi looked up. "Sister Wanyan, can you listen to me in the future? I won't harm you, but sister's luck isn't too good. That's why so many accidents have happened." He was being tactful and didn't directly say that Qin Wanyan's brain wasn't good. Qin Wanyan believed him and felt that he made a lot of sense. Yes, she was just unlucky this time. Who would have thought that Mistson would fail so quickly? She even caused her to be slandered by netizens. If she had listened to Lingyi and played the Suona, although it was a little old-fashioned, she would have been able to gain fans. Qin Wanyan regretted it. She quickly said, "Okay, then I will listen to you in the future. Little brother, you must help me." After talking nicely for a long time, Qin Wanyan finally returned to the living room with a dry mouth and tried to get some camera time. However, as soon as she stepped out of the glass greenhouse, she was stopped by the staff. "Sorry, Miss Qin, you can't enter the live broadcast area." Qin Wanyan was confused. "What? I'm today's guest." "This is a notice from the production team. We hope you won't make things difficult for us. Otherwise, we will have to call the bodyguards." Xiangyi's brothers were very supportive. They arranged 10 bodyguards for her and now they were taking shifts in the manor every day. Qin Wanyan thought of something and her expression changed drastically. "Is this Xiangyi's doing? Did she purposely not let me participate? Get out of my way, I'm going to reason with her." "On what basis? What right did that fool have to suppress her?" The staff refused to budge. "Miss Qin, if you continue to be unreasonable, I'll really have to take action." "Qin Wanyan, do you believe that I'll expose you on the internet? Let the netizens know how weird your production team is. How dare they not allow guests to participate in the recording? She kept talking. The staff member was really annoyed and interrupted her directly. It's not Sister E. It's Teacher Tian. Qin Wanyan was stunned. The staff said angrily, Teacher Tian said that you're not allowed to record. He said that you're embarrassing the sect. She even secretly apologized to Sister E, ensuring D. No, he's my master, how could he treat me like this? Qin Wanyan was extremely flustered. She despised Tianji for being a country bumpkin, but without him she was nothing. The staff member looked at her with pity. Teacher Tian also said that his ability is limited and he can't teach you. Miss Qin, you are no longer Teacher Tian's disciple. Chapter 5:15. Boom. Like a bolt from the blue, Qin Wanyan's confidence was completely destroyed at this moment. How could this be? She was dumbfounded, completely unwilling to accept this reality. Teacher Tian clearly liked the Swana she played so much. Qin Wanyan felt a chill run down her spine. She felt like she had been kicked into a quagmire before she could climb to the top of the clouds. Not far behind her, Ling Yi watched this scene calmly. The reason why Tianji accepted Qin Wanyan as his disciple was not only because Qin Wanyan exchanged for the Swana skill card from the system, but also because he used a small tool. The tool was a reward he received after completing a mission in another world. It was not very useful, but it had a bewitching effect. He was just adding fuel to the fire. If Qin Wanyan let nature take its course and did not cause any trouble, Tianji would not think too much even if he noticed something unusual. Instead, he would guide and train Qin Wanyan well and do his best to fight for resources for this disciple of his. This could be seen from the fact that he was willing to bring Qin Wanyan to participate in the program. However, Qin Wanyan's performance was not just passable, it was terrible. Ling Ye's best outcome was that Tianji would be disappointed in Qin Wanyan and ignore her for a while. This would hinder Qin Wanyan from completing the mission quickly. He did not expect Tianji to be so ruthless. This was good too. If Qin Wanyan could not complete her mission, he could continue to stay in this world. I want to see my master. Get out of the way. Get lost. Qin Wanyan was so agitated that she wanted to play the Swana in front of Tianji again. However, the staff had long disliked her. Please, our Sister E is not someone you can step on as you please. Aha. He called the bodyguards and dragged Qin Wanyan away. Qin Wanyan looked so beautiful when she came, but when she was dragged away, she was in a sorry state. No, you can't do this. Her cries gradually faded away, but no one sympathized with her. The sound insulation in the living room was excellent. Not a single sound could be heard from outside. After a short conversation, both sides worked together to clarify the groundless rumors. Yan Kaikai's live stream traffic increased greatly. It could be said that he had profited from taking the initiative to show goodwill. He was currently the well-deserved number one among the live streamers who were carrying goods. Second only to Yan Kaikai was Hao Han, who was always ridiculed as number two. The two of them were competitors and their popularity was usually very close. Moreover, Hao Han had recently obtained a lot of goods at low prices, and it seemed to be a step ahead of Yan Kai. Of course, Vast C Team was not willing to see Yan Kai become popular. They reacted very quickly and soon arranged the Water Army to lead the rhythm. I'm Sister Yi's fan. There's a rumor that she's trying to ride on Sister Yi's popularity. Previously, I bought fake goods from Yan Kai's livestream. My heart aches for our Sister Yi, I still have to talk to him. I really can't stand Yan Kai's livestream. It's nothing more than a different form of TV shopping. Xiangyi and Shuringdi's livestream variety show is still better, plus, the vast livestream style is also good. Public opinion seemed to be as quiet as the surface of the sea, but in fact, undercurrents were surging and spreading on the internet. It's getting late, everyone can start preparing dinner. Li Jianyu smiled as he handed out mission cards to everyone. Everyone had one except for Xiangyi. The girl looked around and asked in confusion, "Where's mine?" "Sister Yi, you have a special mission today," Li Jianyu deliberately teased her. "Act cute and I'll tell you." Chapter 5:16. As soon as he said that, the live stream became lively. "Son, how long have you been in bed?" "TSK. Unfilial son, how can you talk to Sister E like that? How can you have such shameless thoughts? Isn't it just Sister E acting coquettishly? Who wants to see it?" Super soft voice, "Hurry up, I want to see it, I want to see it." Hearing the request to act cute, Xiangyi was stunned. Before she could react, Ruan Qing had already put on a pair of cat ears on her head. I haven't agreed yet," Xiangyi protested. Ruan Qing smiled and stroked her head. "It's pretty, isn't it?" She looked at Shui. The young best actor chuckled softly and murmured, Xiangyi retracted her hand that was about to remove the cat ears. Since her boyfriend likes to see it, I'll let him see it. Xiangyi's transmigration missions were all very rushed and she rarely paid attention to other people's relationships. Her experience in this area was almost blank. However, just because it was blank didn't mean it was completely blank. She had once witnessed the love story between a support character and several of her husbands in a female-dominated world. She doted on her husband very much. Subconsciously, Xiangyi felt that her man had to be pampered and doted on. The girl put on the cat ears and her milky white face was expressionless. Her temperament was as calm as ever, but she was simply adorable. She tilted her head and asked, "What does it mean to act cute?" This action alone was enough to make the live stream explode. Why are you so cute? Our baby doesn't need to act cute. She doesn't need to. She's naturally cute. Oh my god, her face, her voice, and her cat ears. I'm a girl, but I'm also lusting after Sister Yi's body. Ruan Qing smiled faintly and said, "You can do whatever you want." Li Jinyu deliberately mischievously and pretended to be very serious. "You're not cute at all right now." Xiangyi frowned in distress. "Can't I cook or slaughter pigs? Why did he give me such a difficult question? It was simply out of his league." "Then, I'll teach you the essence of WoW." The girl was very serious. She took out the secret manual that her third brother had taught her. First you have to make 2 sounds. Remember to drag it out. Then you have to change your tone. You have to make it sound like a wave. The young girl's voice was gentle and soft. She was very patient. After explaining in detail, she asked, "Did I make it clear? Do you want me to repeat it?" Subconsciously, she moved closer to the camera. On the netizen screens, her fair and flawless face was magnified. Netizens. *CK. Who could withstand this? I'm dead. I'm gone. Sister E must have grown up eating Cody. Oh my god, I'm going to faint. Little Vase, oh no, I announced that from today onwards, Sister E is my favorite little baby. At this moment, countless fans kowtowed to the beauty of the world until they were satisfied. Countless haters immediately put down their keyboards and turned from haters to fans. At this moment, everyone's attention was on the dazzling girl. However, there were also fans of the untimely couple who were paying close attention to Sher Sui's movements. Everyone watched as the handsome man picked up the glass of water and took a few sips. His clean and clear Adam's apple was particularly obvious as it bobbed up and down as he drank. There was a hint of abstinence in his abstinence. The girls under the microscope all came online. Cold water. He's drinking cold water, sisters. Chapter 517. Hey, can Shurindi do it? He's only wearing cat ears and he's already drinking cold water. Should he take a cold shower next time? He can't. Next question. Ha, it's okay. He can't, but Sister E can. Friendly reminder, your account will be banned if you drive too fast. Your reminder is too late. My sister's account has already been taken down. She's now speaking beautiful Chinese. Xiangyi seriously taught everyone the secret of WoW. She raised her delicate chin proudly and gestured to Li Jinyu. You can speak now. Li Jinyu cleared his throat. No, it's not up to standard. I don't think it's cute enough. In the next second, Xiangyi raised her eyebrows. Say that again? The girl's invisible and powerful aura spread out, and even her soft and cute outfit couldn't offset it. Li Jinyu immediately gave in. Okay, Shaoli, I'll announce the mission card for you now. All of a sudden, the live stream was filled with people laughing and criticizing Li Jinyu for his lack of integrity. Online. The fake reviewers hired by Hao Han's team were still tirelessly stirring up trouble. Is it working? Hao Han hadn't started his live stream yet, but he kept refreshing Yan Kaikai's live stream, envious of his skyrocketing stats. The netizens these days have learned to be smart. It's not that easy to stir up conflicts. They're just a bunch of fools. Won't they believe you if you just lead them on? Hao Han snorted. There are some preliminary results. Some of Yan Kaikai's fans have gone to the live stream of Two Under One Roof to scold Xiangyi. But, what are you stuttering for? Hurry up and spit it out. The staff felt extremely aggrieved. Xiangyi's fans are too forgiving. Not only did they not take the bait, they even reported many accounts. The fake reviewers are even asking us to compensate them. Fake reviewers were now very mature. In addition to machine accounts, there were also artificial accounts. The operation of these accounts required money. For example, they could set up a group chat and assign tasks. The higher the level of the account, the longer it lasted, and the more posts it made, the more expensive it would be. The fake reviewers were also unable to voice their grievances. They had never seen such fans before. Let's not talk about veteran actors, but aren't the fans of popular celebrities nowadays all brainless? A single sentence could ignite a group of firecrackers. But the Spicy Tutu was simply amazing. They were either spamming, "I won't be angry if others are angry, but no one will take my place if I'm angry." They were spamming pictures or short videos of Xiangyi's food. Many of the paid posters in their group chat stopped accepting orders and sent messages saying that they were either eating or ordering takeout. If this wasn't poison, then what was? Vast Han's team was speechless when they found out about this. They were about to persuade Vast Han to stop when his eyes lit up. "Hey, why did Yan Kai suddenly go offline? Haha, did something happen to him? Good. It's best if you never start a live broadcast." The staff members looked at each other in silence. They were used to Hao Han's lack of manners. Suddenly, someone raised his phone weakly. "I think I know what Yan Kai is doing. The manner?" Li Jinyu announced. "Thank you for the invitation from Nanqing Satellite TV. Today, Sister E, your task is to sell goods live. When Yan Kai comes over for a meeting later, we'll help Nanqing's agricultural products together. At that time, the host of Nanqing Satellite TV will be on the mic with us." Vast Han and his team were speechless. "We were still criticizing you guys for not getting along. Why are you guys working together? Don't we have face?" Chapter 518. The live stream was in an uproar. Sister E was actually going to do a live stream with Yan Kai, and it was even a collaboration with Nanqing TV? This was simply too amazing. Hao Han and his team were dumbfounded. Xiangyi and Yan Kai actually got the resources that many celebrities and streamers yearned for but couldn't get? Yan Kai must have spent money to pull some strings. Otherwise, why would they choose him and not me? Hao Han cursed. F***CK. Are the people of Nanqing TV blind? The staff member was rendered speechless. This was probably what they called incompetent rage. Yan Kai was from Nanqing, which was also an important reason why Nanqing TV chose him to do the live stream. Originally, this resource was directly given to Xiangyi. The TV station saw that Xiangyi and Yan Kai's live stream today and decided on this spot at the last minute. It was time for Yan Kai to end his live stream. Once the two sides contacted each other, they happily agreed to come over and help with the live stream. Yan Kai and the others arrived at the manor. Shi Sui, Tianji, and Ling Yi were doing a mission, and Xiangyi came to the door to welcome them. Yan Kai got out of the car first. He was thinner in real life than in the live stream, and his skin was slightly darker. "Hello, Sister E." Yan Kai greeted her warmly and didn't forget to go around to the other side to open the car door for Guan. Guan's face was pale, and she didn't look as energetic as when she started the live stream just now. She forced a smile at Xiangyi. "Hello, Sister E, I'm Spicy Tutu." "Hello." Xiangyi looked at Guan. "Can I take your pulse?" Guan was stunned. Of course." Xiangyi raised her hand and reached for Guan's wrist, accurately feeling her pulse. A moment later, Xiangyi retracted her hand. "I'm a little weak. Maybe I'm overtired. But don't worry, it's nothing serious. Come in and rest for a while." Yan Kai frowned. "Why didn't you say that you weren't feeling well?" "Oh." He paused in embarrassment. Guan smiled and asked, "What will happen? Will you be worried about me?" Yan Kai changed the subject. "Have a good rest later." When the audience saw this scene, they tacitly smiled in front of their screens. In the living room, while Yan Kai was busy confirming the equipment for the live broadcast with the program team, Guan was arranged by Xiangyi to sit on the couch by the floor-to-ceiling window. Hot water, a pillow, and a small blanket were all arranged. Xiangyi also brought an incense burner and lit a stick of incense. "This incense has a sleeping effect. Why don't you take a nap?" Xiangyi suggested. Guan was used to working at a fast pace. Even though her menstrual cramps were severe, she subconsciously felt that resting was a sin. "I'm still in the middle of a live stream. How can I lie here? People need to rest when they're tired." Xiangyi tucked in the blanket for her. "I don't think the audience would like to watch the live broadcast where you work when you're sick and force yourself. And in life, who doesn't get tired?" Viewers in the live stream, Sister E is so gentle cack. Come and listen to what Xiangyi has to say. Oh my god, I suddenly understand why Two Under One Roof is so popular. It's because it's realistic enough but not cruel enough. With just a few words, Guan's anxious mood calmed down. The fragrance of incense filled the air, like the smell of fir trees on a snowy day, mixed with a faint smell of Chinese medicine. Guan Guan fell asleep unknowingly. When she woke up, there was a thermos flask in front of her. She unscrewed it to find a cup of brown sugar ginger tea inside. She suddenly felt a lump in her throat. Chapter 519. The livestream industry was very popular, but being a streamer wasn't easy. It was the norm in the industry to treat women like men and men like beasts. In contrast to the high-intensity work, there was an invisible pressure on one's mind. It couldn't be stopped. Guan Guan understood that Xiangyi must have known that she was feeling unwell from the moment she took her pulse. That was why she told her to rest. However, she didn't take credit for it and instead just showed her concern. She maintained a sense of propriety and distance. After being exhausted for so long, she really couldn't resist being treated gently all of a sudden. Guan Guan sniffed and drank a mouthful of the steaming brown sugar ginger tea. She felt her body and heart warm up along with it. When she first entered, she claimed to be spicy tutu out of politeness. But now, Guan Guan had truly become a fan of Xiangyi from the bottom of her heart. She was extremely loyal. Hao Han was displeased with the resources that Yan Kai had received, so he quickly spent money to get his team to buy another round of marketing. This time he skipped over the fake reviewers and went straight to the marketing accounts. Online celebrity skinning accounts was one of them. Xiangyi and Yan Kai's live stream had yet to officially begin, but articles criticizing the two of them were already flying all over the internet. Our Kai is the best in marketing. Xiangyi is nothing. Don't drag our Kai down. Sister E is so outstanding, why is she doing a live stream with Yan Kai? She's so lowly, she's dragging down Sister Yi's status. No way, right? Is there anyone who doesn't know that the data in Yan Kai's live stream is fake? Their live stream today is definitely going to fail. What's there to sell about agricultural products? Why don't you watch Hao Han's live stream tonight? Today is e-commerce foodie day. There's a lot of delicious food in his live stream. Compared to Yan Kai, Hao Han was very willing to spend money on marketing, and his live stream immediately became popular. In addition, he had posted a preview of tonight's live stream, and many popular snacks were included. For example, sugarless milk tea, spicy crayfish, strawberry biscuits, and so on. Many netizens left comments under the preview, saying that they would definitely lock down Hao Han's live stream tonight. In addition, some netizens were influenced by the marketing accounts, and the comments below were all criticizing Xiangyi and Yan Kai's live stream. It was fine to sell other things, but agricultural products? There was no way to sell things like rice, millet, green beans, and sesame seeds. The hour hand pointed to 6:59. The live stream of Two Under One Roof remained open, and so did Yan Kai. 7 o'clock sharp. Yan Kai shouted at the top of his voice, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kai. The live stream is about to start. Quickly share the link to the live stream on Weibo and WeChat Moments. Beside me is our Sister E, Xiangyi. Sister E, come and say hello to everyone." Xiangyi sat upright and still. She was not nervous at all. She calmly waved at the camera. "Hello everyone, I'm Xiangyi. It's been a long day. Have you had dinner yet?" There were so many comments in the live stream that it was dizzying. "Did you hear that? My wife cares about me. Wifey, I ate it already, kiss 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 kiss. I'm coming, I've already chopped off my left hand yesterday and I'm preparing to chop off my right hand, dog head. Oh wow, these two together actually look like a couple? Guan Guan, I heard someone is courting death? Sure sway, this woman is mine, got it?" At the same time, Hao Han's live stream had also started. He thought that since he had spent so much money, there should be some effect, right? Hence, he secretly gestured to the staff to show him the data. Chapter 520. The staff member hesitated, not knowing if he should show it to him. Hao Han was an impatient person and urged him again. The staff member had no choice but to show him the data. On the 3 tablets were the data of the 3 live stream rooms. The comparison of the number of viewers online was extremely stark. Hao Han's live stream, 3492051. Yan Kai's live stream, 5847329. Two Under One Roof's live stream, 8542245. Hao Han was speechless. Did Yan Kai buy the data? He must have, right? Otherwise, how can the data be twice as fast as mine? What's wrong with the netizens? Didn't we agree to watch my live stream? Why are all of them watching Yan Kai and Two Under One Roof? Thinking about how he had spent so much money but didn't even get a response, Hao Han was so angry that he shut himself up on the spot. Xiangyi and Yan Kai didn't know about Hao Han's little tricks. The two of them cooperated and began to show the products that they would be carrying today. Dear viewers, the first treasure we recommend tonight is Nanqing's Red Heart Sweet Potato. This is a new variety cultivated by the Nanjing Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Not only is it delicious but it's also healthy. We fought for a very discounted price. The original price was 9 yuan per caddy, but today in our live stream, 5 caddies are 9 yuan per caddy. We're also giving away 2 caddies of white heart sweet potato, which has a softer texture. The unit price is equivalent to 1 caddy. Usually, Guan would act as an assistant and calculate the price for Yan Kai in advance. Today they had changed partners at the last minute and the two of them didn't have time to get along. Yan Kai's heart was in his mouth and sweat appeared on his forehead. His mind was racing as he tried to think of a way to smooth things over. However, he heard a gentle voice in his ear. 7 yuan. Yan Kai was stunned for a second before he quickly said, "Wow. This price is really affordable. Let's do it. Right, Guan, ahem, sistery." Although Yan Kai was a mature livestream host, habits were really powerful. Despite his rich experience, he still couldn't help but blabber. Xiangyi said calmly, "Yes, sweet potatoes can be steamed or cooked with porridge. It's also a good choice to make carrot sweet potatoes or stir-fried sweet potato puree. If you can afford it, you can also add some raisins, nuts, or something." Yan Kai. What kind of godly partner was this? He was almost moved to tears. Sistery was so reliable. Inexplicably, Yan Kai was affected. He calmed down and acted like a professional streamer. Regarding the red heart sweet potato, it's actually related to our Nanjing's poverty alleviation. Let's connect to Nanjing TV, beep. The live broadcast room and Nanjing satellite TV were connected successfully. The host smiled and said, "Xiangyi, Yan Kai, hello. Today's cooperation is the first time for our Nanjing satellite TV. This time, we invited 2 spokespersons to help with the online sales of our agricultural products. First, let's listen to the story behind poverty. Nanjing Satellite TV has changed the style of traditional media. Each agricultural product is accompanied by a short video of tens of seconds. It is not the kind of agony style, but the production is vivid and interesting. Watching the belly. The live stream continued in an orderly manner. Next, we recommend Xiaomi. Millet is good for the stomach when used to make porridge. It can be cooked together with pumpkin. This product is amazing. It's black sesame. Black sesame is fried and sealed. Eat a small handful every day. It has a certain hair care effect. Coupled with the funny short video of Nanjing Satellite TV, the netizens in the live broadcast room watched with relish and couldn't stop buying. Some netizens couldn't help but exclaim, "This is simply like announcing the name of a dish. Sister E is announcing the recipe." Chapter 521. In the living room. Xiangyi and Yan Kai were doing a live stream. Guan stood at the side and watched as the staff uploaded links and gave out coupons. In the kitchen, the 3 men were preparing dinner. Tianji showed off his skills by making some duck soup. Shui prepared a few cold dishes in an unhurried manner. Ling Yi helped her by choosing vegetables and cutting them into chunks. Through the half-closed door, he could hear the conversation between Xiangyi and Yan Kai in the living room. Although it was just a simple collaboration, he actually felt a little envious of Yan Kai. Even if he knew that she didn't belong to him, his possessiveness was still strong and impulsive. On the other hand, Shui was unruffled as he mixed the candied tomatoes, appearing elegant, noble, and indifferent. Ling Yi couldn't help but curse in his heart. Does he really like Xiangyi? How can he be so indifferent to her? Doesn't he have any possessiveness and desire to control Xiangyi? As if sensing Ling Ye's gaze, the young best actor turned his face and asked with a deep gaze, "Are the vegetables ready?" Ling Yi said, "Yes, I've watered them." Shui nodded and said, "Thank you." Ling Yi handed the vegetables over and saw that Shui was leisurely preparing to boil the vegetables. He couldn't help but ask, "Mr. Shi, my sister is doing a live stream with another man." "So?" Ling Yi choked and said, "Nothing, I just feel that you don't seem to care much about my sister." Shui slowly put on an apron and asked, "What do you think is caring?" Ling Yi lowered his thick and long eyelashes, and his beautiful and delicate face was gentle. "I don't know." In fact, he already had an answer in his heart. It was possessiveness. Everyone's understanding may be different, but at the very least, caring shouldn't be a hindrance to the other party. It's not restricting the other party from making friends or restricting the other party's freedom. Shui's words stunned Ling Yi. It also won the strong approval of the fans in the livestream. "I'm praising Shui. He's so righteous." Yes. No matter how much you like someone, no one has the right to deprive others of their freedom. Actually, I'm quite annoyed with the memes about being locked in a basement. Liking someone should be based on respect. The Xiang family old estate. Xiang Yin, who had learned how to shop online, had a sullen expression on his face as he used his acupuncture needles to buy everything that his granddaughter bought. Meanwhile, Madame Xiang sent a voice message to the Sunset Glow Sisters group. Ayaya, that's right. The person streaming with Kai Kai is our little granddaughter. Sisters, please support her. No, I'm not as outstanding as you say. I'm just average. My old man is shopping. Self-taught? He's not that smart. It was our precious little rabbit who taught him how to shop online. Xiang Yin blushed and coughed. Okay, cut it out. Madame Xiang snickered. Old man, are you shy? No. Xiang Yin retorted righteously. Do I seem like the kind of person who would be shy? Madame Xiang saw through him but didn't expose him. Instead, she continued to send voice messages to the group. Well, the group owner, Mrs. Zhou, loves to show off her grandson. My little rabbit is the most outstanding one. The 1-hour live stream ended. The sales figures were tabulated immediately. Yan Kai was not the only one who was looking forward to it. Even Hao Han was waiting for the results. When Guan saw the data, she smiled and ignored Yan Kai. Instead, she looked at Xiangyi. Sister E, congratulations, your livestream sales have exceeded 100 million yuan. And it's 200 million yuan. Chapter 522. This data was quickly spread. Damn, 200 million yuan? The point is, the two of them only live-streamed for an hour. This figure has broken an industry record. I reckon that capital is about to enter the market and celebrities may become the norm. On the internet, countless people express their opinions. What did you say? 200 million yuan? When Hao Han went offline, he heard the figures that his assistant told him. His face was full of disbelief. Where are my figures? There was still a last glimmer of hope in his heart. Perhaps the figures of his live stream had exploded because of the good traffic today. The assistant trembled in fear. 20 million yuan. Not only was the sales figures far from Xiangyi and Yan Kai's figures, but they were also not as high as usual. There was no other reason than the fact that the market for livestream goods was only so large at the moment. Now that Yan Kai's livestream had more viewers, Hao Han's livestream would definitely be affected. The nearly tenfold difference made Hao Han so angry that he smashed a lot of things on the spot. At the thought of the upcoming live-streamed mid-year celebration, he was bound to meet Yan Kai when the time came. When that time came, how was he supposed to raise his head in front of Yan Kai? In the living room of the manor. Yan Kai was in a great mood when he heard the figures. His usual sales were about tens of millions of yuan a day, and the highest he had ever achieved was a little more than 100 million yuan. He didn't expect that his temporary collaboration with Xiangyi today would result in more than 200 million yuan. Sister E, here's a toast to you. Here's to you. Yan Kai raised his glass and downed it in one gulp. Xiangyi's eyes lit up as she looked at the fruit wine in the porcelain cup in front of her. She subconsciously licked the corners of her mouth. Sensing a burning gaze, she looked up and made eye contact with Shi Sui. He smiled ambiguously as if he had seen through her thoughts at a glance. His tutu was an alcoholic. Xiangyi felt a little guilty. Just as she was about to pretend that nothing had happened and continue drinking, a pair of bony hands picked up the wine glass before her. Sister E is injured and can't drink. She appreciates the gesture, but I'll drink. His low and deep voice slowly resounded in everyone's ears. His elegant and gentlemanly demeanor made it impossible for anyone to find fault with him. The man raised his neck and his Adam's apple bobbed as he drank. His thin lips were stained with water, and he slowly wiped it away with his slender and fair fingers. So sexy. Xiangyi stared straight at him, her little hands clenching into fists uncontrollably. The livestream was filled with cheers. Shurindi blocked the wine for Sister E. What we got was candy. I'm going to faint. Shi Sui's Adam's apple is so cute. I want Sister E to touch me. Sister Yi's heart aches as she looks at Shi Sui. It's like he's looking at a treasure. I'm the only one who feels like Xiangyi wants to drink? After 3 rounds of wine? Men tend to talk a lot more nonsense when they drink too much. Yan Kai didn't dare to look Guan in the eye, but he didn't have such scruples when it came to Xiangyi. The two chatted about the livestream. Spicy Tutu's fans thought it was quite normal, but in the eyes of Yan Kai's fans, they were a little displeased. In their opinion, Yan Kai was neglecting Guan. I'm speechless. Is Yan Kai worthy of Guan's efforts? Xiangyi is crazy. She's going to speak to Yan Kai just because he's talking to her? Her EQ is so low. I feel sorry for Guangguan. It's been so long and she still hasn't become a full-time employee. She still has to watch the person she likes talk to another girl in public. How sad must she be? Chapter 523. The most direct result of overthinking was that some people couldn't control their emotions and started flaming her. Is Vase Fairy so sick that she'll die if she doesn't have a man? Does she have to stick to every man she meets? Xiangyi is such a green TB*TC. All she knows is how to put on an act. She doesn't know how to be reserved in front of men. She was nice to Ling Yi just now, and now she's chatting passionately with Yan Kai Kai. She even got Sure Sui to drink with her. What a good move. While the netizens were scolding her fiercely, Guan suddenly said, "Excuse me, I'm going out for a while." As soon as she left, the live stream went into an uproar. Heartbroken Guan was flooded with comments. Apart from that, there were also comments scolding Xiangyi and Yan Kai Kai. It was as if the two of them had done something heinous. However, within a few minutes, Guan returned. She walked into the living room with a huge cardboard box in her arms. When Xiangyi saw it, her first reaction was to get up to help her carry it. Yan Kai Kai was a step slower to react. "How can you girls do this kind of work? Let me do it." "You can't," Guan said in disdain. Yan Kai Kai blushed. "You. Watch your words. We're doing a live stream." Guan was confused. She began to reflect on herself. What do I see in this simple-minded man? Xiangyi avoided her injured hand and lifted the big box with one hand. "It's a little heavy," she commented. Guan's gaze instantly changed, and there was a look of admiration in her eyes. "Sister E, you're so awesome. Wow, you can even lift such a heavy box with one hand." Yan Kai Kai was speechless. He had helped her carry things before, so why didn't Guan flatter him? "Let me do it. I'm a man, I can't let you girls do this kind of work." Yan Kai Kai snatched the box from Xiangyi's hands. As soon as he grabbed it, he staggered due to the weight. Yan Kai Kai was speechless. Is this box filled with stones? How can Xiangyi, who looks so gentle, lift it with one hand effortlessly? When the livestream viewers saw this scene, they were instantly amused. "Ha, Yan Kai Kai is so chauvinistic, but it's not the disgusting kind. I'm about to throw up from laughing." Yan Kai Kai, you probably don't know anything about Sister Yi's strength. She is a cute girl who can carry a pig without batting an eyelid. In order to defend his male dignity, Yan Kai Kai insisted on moving the box to the dining table even though his face was red. Tianji looked at them and said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Ling Yi was next to him, his head lowered as he played with a game console that Xiangyu had left behind. He looked obedient and docile, but in the game he was sharp and ruthless. Every move he made was fatal. Guan opened the box and took out the things inside one by one. "Sister E, this sunscreen hat is super useful. Sister E, do you like spicy food? This shop's spicy strips are delicious. Sister E, this detergent is not only effective, but it also smells good. You must have it." The more they listened, the more they felt that something was amiss. Why did it feel like this big box of things, without exception, was all for Xiangyi? Li Jinyu asked the question that was on everyone's mind. Guan, are these all for Sister E?" Guan smiled and said, Yes. I really like Sister E, so I must give her all the good things that I think are good." The netizens who were scolding them just now were speechless. What kind of F***king plot is this? Chapter 524. Xiangyi paused for a moment and said, "Wait a minute, I'll go get something for you." Not long after, Xiangyi brought over a bunch of food and drinks. For example, Little Rabbit Farm's new mixed noodles as well as their signature products, spicy rabbit head, spicy beef as well as her own pickled vegetables, salted duck eggs, fermented grape wine, plum wine, and so on. It was packed to the brim. After filling up Guan's box, there was still a lot left. Guan was shocked. "Are these all for me? Sob Xiangyi, you're the best. I must be the happiest fan in the world." The girl said calmly, "This is a gift in return." However, Sure Sui noticed that she was poking at the hem of her clothes with her fingertips, looking lively and happy. Obviously, Little Rabbit was very happy to receive a gift. There was also a smile in his eyes. For no reason, he just couldn't help but smile when he saw her smile. Meanwhile, Yan Kai Kai stood at the side with a look of confusion on his face. He suddenly felt that he was quite redundant. In the live stream, the spicy tutu fans' counterattack would come later. Ha, some fans are so dramatic. It's a waste of talent if they don't go into acting. Are you sure Guan is the one being ignored and not Yan Kai Kai? He's like a tool. The friendship between girls is so cute and spicy. It's cured. At this moment, many of Yen Kaikai's fans who were flaming him were blushing in front of their screens. Yen Kaikai had only come to work with Xiangyi to deliver goods. Now that the task was completed, he still had work to do. After dinner he got ready to leave. Before leaving, Guangguan held Xiangyi's hand and reluctantly talked to her for a while. The two girls exchanged contact information and even exchanged addresses so that it would be easier to send things to each other in the future. Yen Kaikai could only awkwardly chat with Shi Sui. "Shi Sui, when will we be able to see your new movie?" Shi Sui smiled and said, "It depends on fate." Hearing this, many of his fans were a little disappointed. Shi Sui had already won the Best Actor award at such a young age. His career had already reached its peak. Even if he announced his retirement now, he would still be worshipped in the future. But they still wanted to see Shi Sui's life with more honor. Hearing this, Guangguan asked Xiangyi curiously, "Sister Yi, do you know how to film?" Yen Kaikai continued, "Hey, I think you two can work together." The two of them were just chatting casually, but they accidentally stirred up 1,000 ripples. The joke of the year? "Please, pretty sister, I'm willing to pay for a magazine shoot or a live stream as long as you don't ruin my eyes on the big screen. I've endured it for so many days, but I can't take it anymore today. I don't mind if they're a couple, but Sheringi's works are not to be sullied. He's such a good actor, he shouldn't waste it on a woman like Xiangyi who only knows how to glare and pout." Yen Kaikai still wanted to say something, but Guangguan realized that she had said something wrong and secretly pinched Yen Kaikai's arm. She tried to salvage the situation by saying, "Hey, we're just joking. Your daily life is as beautiful as a movie. When I get rich, I'm going to go home and farm too." Xiangyi didn't think too much about it, but Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. "Work together?" He looked at Xiangyi with a gentle gaze that was like a sparkling lake under the sunlight. "Of course I'm willing, but I don't know if Sister Yi is willing to work with me." Chapter 525. The netizens were speechless. Is Sheringi so lovey-dovey? Doesn't he know how good Xiangyi's acting skills are? His words aroused the dissatisfaction of some of his fans. "Sheringi, are you crazy? Do you have to put a woman on such high pedestals? She's not qualified to act with you. I've been with you from the lowest point to the peak and worried about your career. If you ruin your own future, I won't be your fan anymore." Smile? As an actor, I hope you can cherish your reputation. Even if you don't have any career aspirations and continue to pursue art, I hope you won't leave a stain on your career. Of course, some people reacted fiercely while others were looking forward to it. Xiangyi now had a wide range of fans, including fans of her looks, foodies, older sister fans, mother fans, and milk powder fans. Especially the older fans who hadn't seen Xiangyi in the previous idol drama, felt that this young lady was adorable and lovable. She would definitely be suitable for acting in a movie. Thinking of Shi Sui's delay in accepting the movie, Xiangyi blinked and said, "If you need, I can cooperate." After all, she had been evaluated as a perfect support by the transmigration system. Xiangyi felt that she knew a little about acting. Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. "Why don't you give it a try?" Xiangyi didn't hesitate. "Sure." In the night, the man's thin lips curled up, and even the dim scenery seemed to come alive in an instant. "Happy working with you, Sister Yi." The netizens were speechless. What's going on? Are the two of them really going to work together? Some of the fans immediately expressed their attitude in the pop-up comments. "I'm no longer a fan, goodbye." "Shi Sui, you don't care about the feelings of your fans at all." "I'm in tears now. I feel like all my years of liking him have been wasted. I care more about his career than he does, but what about him?" However, the emotional comments were quickly replaced by a wave of pop-up comments. "Oh my god, Sister E is so capable. She's been praised by the officials." Everyone curiously went to Weibo to search, only to find that there was a trending topic. Hashtag Xiangyi Yen Kai Kai Young Man hashtag. When he suddenly saw it, he thought that it was a hot search. However, when they clicked on it, they realized that it was actually a Weibo post from the Huaxia Daily. Huagua Daily v. Today, Nanjing Satellite TV is trying new media to help the poor by carrying goods for agricultural products through live broadcasts, and the sales are gratifying. Thank you to hashtag Xiangyi Yen Kai Kai use hashtag. Not only did you solve the urgent needs of the farmers, but you also explored a new model of positive energy live streaming. I give a thumbs up to them for their excellence. Many class representatives with verified accounts went online to analyze the deeper meaning behind this Weibo post. Oh my god, Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai are amazing. Looks like Yen Kai Kai's seat as the #1 streamer is secure. This is equivalent to an official signal that recognizes the legitimacy of the streamer's profession and the positive significance of live streaming. Ordinary passers-by didn't know much about it, but when they saw this trending topic, they felt that these two young people were indeed not bad. The fans were extremely excited. She felt as if her own child had received the biggest red flower in kindergarten. What are you waiting for? Just praise them and it'll be over. Hence, a large number of bootlicking experts went online and singled out Xiangyi and Yan Kai for praise. When they praised them together, it could be said that there were no blind spots. At the same time, another trending topic broke into everyone's attention with astonishing popularity. Chapter 526. Hashtag Who's the Pretty Sister in the Nation? Hashtag The person who posted the post on Weibo was a well-known humorous blogger. Apart from accepting submissions from netizens, she also had fun with her family. In particular, the short videos of her arguing with her younger brother would definitely make it to the hot search list every time they were updated. How to conquer the handsome young man v. I didn't expect my iron-willed brother to fall in love one day. He's just a poor high school student who just came home from school. I was slumped on the sofa eating strawberries while watching a variety show. My brother was so angry that he let out a furious roar. In the end, when he saw Xiangyi on TV, he immediately became shy and nervous. He clenched his fists and lowered his head while asking me, "Who is this pretty sister?" In order to know her name, my brother has already obediently washed my car for me. There was a lot of laughter in the comments section. Men are just so. Shocking. My brother is actually shy? Is this still the same brother who tugged at your hair for a bowl of instant noodles? Xiangyi is really a pretty sister. Even I want to lick my screen crazily, let alone my brother. Nowadays, the live streaming industry in China was very developed and most young people didn't watch much television. Hence, although the hot search list was very popular, it had been stuck at around 10th place. Until, at 9:30 p.m., National Mass Workout was broadcast on satellite TV. At the same time, the online version of this episode was released on Xinchen Video. Many fans who were watching the online version were the first to reach the battlefield. Junhan, let's go. Mommy is here. Wow, Su Tumi is in this episode. I like her so much. Spicy Tutu will never admit defeat. Our sister Yi's reputation is rising. At this moment, countless people were slumped on the sofa or bed, enjoying the rare leisure time of the day. After the familiar introduction ended, a delicate and fair face appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The young girl was holding a black recurved bow with a bow on her head. She was dressed in a bright and sweet manner, but there was a trace of coldness in her eyes. She squinted, aimed and pulled the bow. Whoosh. The young girl didn't look at the results and instead lowered her head to take an arrow. The audience in front of the screen. There was an instant pop-up comment section. Damn it, what kind of pretty sister is this? My sister used her cuteness as a weapon and shot me in the heart with an 8x scope. Is this the legendary true expert who never looks at the score after shooting an arrow? Coach, I want to learn this. Some fans who were familiar with the routine of National Citizen felt that something was wrong. The first person to appear would be the main guest of this episode. Come on, in terms of celebrity status, popularity, and status, what qualifications did Xiangyi have to be the main guest? What a joke. Many people directly opened up the comments section, and for a moment, the bullet screen was filled with a foul atmosphere. However, this episode of the film was personally edited by director Zhu. He was one of the top variety directors in the industry, and his aesthetic sense had always been on the line. This time he even brought out his specialty. The rhythm of the editing was excellent, and there were endless laughs. The audience's attention was quickly diverted away from the main guest. The famous scenes of Xiangyi drawing the cartoon clip, Su Tumi hitting the wrong target, and Xiangyi hitting the 10th ring of the 10 rings were all hilarious. The number of fans on both their Weibo accounts was increasing rapidly. Some people were happy while others were sad. Bai Wuxia looked at the variety show with disbelief in his eyes. They actually deleted all my scenes in this episode? Chapter 527. Recently, Bai Wuxia had been embroiled in a whirlpool of public opinion and his reputation had been ruined. No one had approached him to act in a drama. National Citizen was his only exposure. He initially thought that director Zhu would more or less give him some face, even if it meant that he would have less screen time. At the very least, he could have his face censored. Maybe someone would be curious about who the censored person was and he might still have some popularity. However, he didn't expect director Zhu to be so ruthless. He edited it as if he didn't record this episode at all. Bai Wuxia thumped his chest and stamped his feet in regret. He was infuriated and posted several Weibo posts in a row. By Wuxia V. Only the person who drinks will know if it's hot or cold. By Wuxia V. In this world there's only icing on the cake, there's no such thing as timely help. By Wuxia V. Perhaps, I'm the true portrayal of the marginal character in literary works. Some netizens commented, yes, you're very redundant. Seeing this, Bai Wuxia criticized the other party for online violence and even called on his fans to scold the netizen. This wave of confusing actions naturally attracted countless mockery from the public. Seeing that there were so many people scolding him, Bai Wuxia decided to go all the way. Thinking that he was still popular after being criticized, he hoped to use this opportunity to stir up some waves. Hence, he posted on Weibo and claimed that he was going to expose something. By Wuxia V. Let me tell you guys, a certain female star is a lesbian. The two girls were hugging and hugging each other during the recording of the show. It's so disgusting. By Wuxia V. A certain male star also secretly supported a certain female star with 3 food trucks. Don't ask me who it is, everyone already knows. Aren't the two of them having an affair? As soon as these 2 Weibo posts were posted, Bai Wuxia's Weibo immediately became lively. Countless netizens who were watching the show seemed to be possessed by Sherlock Holmes and Detective Conan as they speculated, analyzed, deciphered, and dug into the Weibo posts of the production crew. In the end, they actually managed to decipher Bai Wuxia's news. Some of the netizens posted a conclusion. Revelation 1, the certain female star should be referring to Su Tumi. The 2 female stars who were hugging each other are Su Tumi and Xiangyi. I've cut a clip from the variety show where Xiangyi was teaching Su Tumi archery, and it was as if she was holding Su Tumi in her arms. Also, I found a staff member's Weibo. Someone posted something about the couple that day. Lala, I think Bai Wuxia is just making things up, but the 2 of them seem to be really close. Revelation 2, this should be referring to Xiangyi and Shi Sui. Xiangyi had a total of 4 support food trucks that day, and one of them was organized by her fans. However, according to the screenshots circulating in the fan group, Xiangyi converted the money to her fans and told them not to spend money on her in the future. As for the other 3 cars, I found a post on the Melon forum. It was posted by the staff of the catering car that day. It said that the person who ordered the catering car was Shi Sui's agent. Bai Wuxia waited for a long time, but there was no call. Could it be that no one was paying attention? He picked up his phone and saw that one of the 2 Weibo posts had more than a few thousand comments, and the other had more than 10,000 comments. Bai Wuxia was overjoyed. He thought that the popularity was waving at him, but when he clicked on the comments he was dumbfounded. I can be a sweet and soft couple. Shi Sui actually gave Sister E a support food truck? Sob sob sob, this dog food is too fragrant. Apart from that, the most common comment was this one. Thank you for the news. Since you've already become famous, why don't you change your career to paparazzi? Bai Wuxia was speechless. Chapter 528. Bai Wuxia failed to expose the matter and was instead advised by netizens to become a paparazzi. Soon it was reposted by various humorous bloggers. All of a sudden the sentence, since you're going to fail anyway, why don't you change your profession and become a paparazzi? Became a new internet buzzword. In a sense, Bai Wuxia had achieved his goal. He had indeed gained some popularity. However, what followed was not directors looking for him to act in shows but various gossip magazines, paparazzi, and other media outlets throwing him an olive branch. The second round of the game segment of National Citizen was broadcasted. On the screen, Xiangyi was dressed in a clean and neat camouflage uniform with a belt around her slender waist. Her hair was tied into a bun and she was carrying a sniper rifle that was disproportionate to her body size. However, she was surprisingly sassy and beautiful. In particular, at the moment she fired the shot, the pop-up comments were filled with comments such as, I'm dead, sister shot my heart, and I died repeatedly in front of the screen. However, when the crowd found out that she had killed her teammate Jun Han, they laughed so hard that they were about to cry. For this part, director Zhu used editing techniques similar to those used in war movies as the camera kept switching between each person. The post-production was also particularly impressive as it was accompanied by all kinds of exciting music. Many people were so engrossed in watching that they even forgot that it was just a variety show. All of a sudden, the scene turned into an intense push and pull that pulled the crowd back to reality. Someone complained, "Why are you shaking the camera? You're making me dizzy." At this moment, the screen turned black and the post-production subtitles appeared, which briefly described the accident that happened to Su Tumi on the day of filming. When the audience saw that Su Tumi was actually being chased by a wanted criminal, director Zhu did not cut the scene and instead played the sounds of Su Tumi crying and panting when she was running. The editing made everyone's hearts wrench up. Ah, how could this happen? Oh my god, I'm breaking out in cold sweat even through the screen. Although I know that Tsutomi is safe and sound, it's still so heart-wrenching to hear this scene. The panting sounds became more and more rapid, especially when she screamed. It was enough to make one imagine the terrifying scene at that time. A maniacal wanted criminal was chasing after a weak and helpless young girl, like a wild beast hunting in the forest. However, in the next second, whoosh, the screen lit up. Like a ray of light at the end of the darkness, the dim light became brighter and brighter, and finally fixed on the scene of Xiangyi running towards Tsutomi. The young girl was like a slender but vigorous wild leopard, directly pouncing over. Meanwhile, the background music played by Wuxia's sarcastic words at that time, but the voice was changed. Let's stand further away. If Xiangyi can't hold on, we'll be in big trouble. Hey, don't forget to run towards us. Aren't they afraid of dragging us down? His EQ is too low. The scene of a young girl fighting with all her might, coupled with the words she had said, brought about a strong impact. The bullet screen exploded. I'm F*King crying out loud. Sister E is so nice. The way he ran over without hesitation was really too tear-jerking. Don't think I don't know who you are just because you changed your voice. By Wuxia, you're a fool. It's completely mushy. Even the netizens who were initially critical of Xiangyi for not being worthy of being the main guest were teary-eyed. The entire bullet screen was lined up in a neat formation. She deserves to be the main guest. She deserves to be the main guest. She deserves to be the main guest. Chapter 529. At this point, no one doubted whether Xiangyi was worthy of being the main guest anymore. Because there was no doubt about it. Hashtag who's the pretty girl in Citizen? Hashtag trended all the way to second place. The first place was occupied by another term. Hashtag her name is Xiangyi. Hashtag the person who posted this was Xiangyi's fan club's official Weibo account. Protect my Mala Tutu. She's not a vase fairy, she just has a pretty face. She's not pretentious, she just knows a little about everything. She's not an actress from the Xiang family, she has her own name. Hashtag her name is Xiangyi. Hashtag. The accompanying picture was a set of 9 squares, each of which was a picture of her beautiful face. There was a picture of Xiangyi washing her hands to make soup, a picture of her holding silver needles, a picture of her playing the sanxian, and a picture of her receiving a silk banner. The picture seemed casual, but it was actually intentional. It showed everyone that she was really an outstanding girl. On this day, countless people tore off the stereotypical label they had for Xiangyi. They finally got to know Xiangyi properly. Citizen broadcasted the third round of Bonus Time, which was the segment where the production team went to Xiangyi's manor to shoot. After experiencing such a thrilling scene and seeing such a peaceful scene, the audience spontaneously thought of 2 words in their hearts: bliss. It turned out that a plain life was also a kind of bliss. They were used to the bustling traffic and bright lights of the big city. When they saw this kind of life of picking chrysanthemums under the eastern fence, leisurely looking at the southern mountains, it really felt like they had entered a paradise of peach blossoms. The rhythm of the second half of the segment was slow and uneven, delicate but not dragging. This episode of National Citizen ended with one sentence. A game is just a game and friends are not just friends. When the audience saw this sentence, they smiled knowingly, as if they had vaguely understood something. They were smiling, but when they came back to their senses, they realized that their eyes were wet. After watching the variety show, many of the audience members did not continue to surf the internet as usual. Instead, they called their family or friends. Mom, I missed the chicken soup you made. Sister, we haven't seen each other in a long time, let's meet for dinner. Brother, how have you been recently? Haha, you're living such a comfortable life. Call me Daddy. On the Lime app, the ratings of National Citizen rose rapidly. This episode was regarded by countless people as a variety textbook, godly editing, and comparable to an indie film. It became a classic in the history of variety. Everything on the internet did not seem to affect the manner at all. After the live broadcast ended, everyone returned to their rooms to rest. As the night deepened, Xiangyi nestled in bed reading a book. Xiao Naofu was snoring on the pillow next to her. It was raining outside the window, accompanied by the dull sound of thunder. Xiangyi got up and went to the living room to get some water. She vaguely heard some rustling sounds coming from the utility room. Thief? The girl frowned slightly. She picked up the peachwood sword she used for morning practice and kicked open the door to the storeroom. It was pitch black. She met Ling Ye's eyes. The young man's complexion was pale, as if he had fallen into extreme fear. He huddled in the cramped space as if this was the only way he could feel safe. Xiangyi looked at him for a few seconds and walked away. Ling Yi wanted to grab the corner of her shirt, but he did not manage to reach it. A bitter smile appeared on his lips. Perhaps this was retribution. Sister must have thought that he was acting. His body was getting colder and colder. Ling Yi coughed softly. Suddenly, a light appeared in his field of vision. It was not bright enough, but it was very warm. It was an orange night light. Chapter 530. The stars outside the window were sparse and the room was silent. A ray of light suddenly appeared in the boundless darkness. Ling Yi stared at the lamp in shock and suddenly felt a lump in his throat. Immediately afterwards, a warm and soft little Shiji was stuffed into his arms. The little Shiba Inu was still in a daze. It opened its moist eyes and tilted its head in bewilderment. Little Shiji is very obedient. Can it accompany you? The girl's voice was gentle and sweet, just like the sound of nature in the middle of the night. I read a paper previously that said that pets can effectively relieve anxiety and tension. Ling Ye's Adam's apple moved and he had a hard time suppressing his coughs. His voice was hoarse as he said, "Thank you, you're welcome." Xiangyi looked at him calmly without any discrimination. Instead she asked, "Do you need me to close the door?" She didn't ask him to be normal, be strong or get better. However, for the first time, Ling Yi felt that he was respected. He heard himself murmuring in a broken voice, "Sister, can you not leave?" Before Xiangyi could answer, the beautiful and exquisite young man said self-deprecatingly, "How am I worthy?" He curled his fingers and said, "I'm sorry, sister." Xiangyi's eyelashes fluttered, and she pointed in the direction of the bookshelf. "I'll leave a gap for you and then I'll read outside. If you're afraid you can knock on the door twice. If I hear you, I'll knock on the bookshelf twice, okay?" Ling Yi looked at her in disbelief. He didn't even know if he had nodded or not. By the time he recovered from the shock, darkness had enveloped his vision again. The difference was that there was a chubby Shiba Inu in his arms that was rubbing against his chest and exposing its belly for him to stroke. Beside him was a small night light. It was dim and weak, but it resisted the boundless darkness and stubbornly crushed the glimmer of light. Through the gap in the door, he could see that the light on the bookshelf seemed to be fatally attractive. For a moment, Ling Yi suddenly understood why moths were destined to fly to the fire. The dazzling light was where one's heart was. He tried to test it by gently knocking on the door twice, but he quickly retracted his hand. He was afraid that she wouldn't hear him, but he was also afraid that she would. He was conflicted and tangled. A few seconds later, the steady and calm sound of knuckles hitting the solid wood bookshelf came from outside the door. All the chaos and pain seemed to have been paused at this moment. Ling Ye's heart raced as he clenched his fists. The system sensed his abnormality and remained silent. Temporary salvation was still salvation. At least at this moment the host was happy. Xiangyi was so engrossed in flipping through the book that she didn't notice a shadow beside her. Until the shadow could no longer hold back and tugged at the corner of her clothes. Elder sister. Xiangyi looked in the direction of the voice and discovered that Ling Yi had unknowingly sat cross-legged on the floor. His beautiful face was looking up at her without blinking. "What's the matter?" Xiangyi frowned. "The floor is cold. Get up. My sister cares about me." This realization made Ling Yi both excited and pained. "Sister, can I always stay by your side?" "Sister, I will be very obedient." "Sister." The last word was said in a nasal tone. It sounded like he was acting coquettishly, but more like he was pleading. Xiangyi said indifferently, "Ling Yi, don't lose yourself. You should go home." Hearing this, Ling Yi suddenly smiled bitterly. He said, "Sister, not everyone wants to go home." Chapter 531. Xiangyi was slightly taken aback. Ling Yi looked up at her and said in a hoarse voice, "Sister, do you know that no one will wait for me to come home?" "No one?" Suddenly he could smell the fruity scent of citrus. Xiangyi squatted down in front of him. "It's okay. After you complete all the missions you can choose a world to stay in." "Can I choose sister's world?" As soon as the young man finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. His face turned pale as if he had lost all his vitality in an instant. Ling Ye's lips were moving and his eyes were dilated. He seemed to be talking to the system in his mind. Xiangyi could vaguely hear a few words. "Impossible? You betrayed me? Even you betrayed me? If it's not you, who else could it be?" Boom! The young man fell to the ground. Xiangyi quickly went to check on him. "Sister," Ling Yi called out for the last time. He tried to grab Xiangyi's hand, but it fell to the ground before he could even touch the corner of her clothes. Late at night at the hospital, Xiangyi was sitting on a bench in the corridor. Her eyes were empty and she was in a daze. A man's jacket suddenly appeared on her thin and slender shoulders. It was stained with his scent. Ling Yi is awake, Shui said. Do you want to go and see him? Xiangyi collected her thoughts and nodded. She walked to the door of the emergency room. Through the transparent glass, her gaze fell on the unconscious young man. However, she felt as if she was looking at another person. She suddenly stopped in her tracks. After a while, Xiangyi looked down. It's good that he's fine. However, there was no need to look at him anymore. This was because this Ling Yi was no longer Ling Yi. Where did he go? What happened? Was he still alive? Xiangyi sighed. She told herself not to think about it, but she still couldn't control herself. Her fingers were suddenly held. His slender fingers went through her hand and interlocked with hers. Sister Yi, I'm here. Okay, Xiangyi replied and rested her forehead on his shoulder. Boyfriend, lend me your shoulder. Shui noticed the change in Song Yunxuan's mood. Seeing that Song Yunxian didn't want to say more, he didn't ask any more questions. He just patted Song Yunxuan's back gently with his other hand. A moment later, Xiangyi adjusted her mood. Boyfriend, let's go home. The word, go home, poked the soft corner of the man's heart. He looked gentle. Okay, listen to Sister Yi. Before he left, he glanced at Ling Yi who was in the emergency room. His long and narrow eyes suddenly narrowed. Was Sister Yi's body also swapped in the same way? That night, chaos ensued. First, Ling Yi suddenly fainted and was sent to the hospital. Tianjia was impatient and drove to the hospital in the middle of the night, but an accident happened. The next morning, the news that Tianji and his disciple were both hospitalized spread on the internet. Qin Wanyin had never imagined that she would be called out and scolded because of this. The reason the netizens scolded her was that she was a jinx. Qin Wanyin was trembling with anger. Why? She was the chosen one. The little system coaxed her for a long time, but she scolded it back. It didn't dare to say anything for a long time. Suddenly, the small system